Meow.
Meow.
There's nobody in here to tell us if there's audio or not. So.
Yeah, can you turn me down, though? My audio is way too high.
It just popped. Let's turn that down now. They move the camera because you can see me, and I don't like it. Oh, yeah. I am in frame now. So if somebody moves something. All right. Let's share this to the old... I keep forgetting to tag you guys in the Instagram story so you guys can share it.
Yeah.
I've done that the last 2 weeks, and I realized it after I posted it, so I'll do it now.
Are you doing it live?
Oh, I'm doing it live. Rumor 2311 is expected to acquire one of SHR's charters and could very likely look into Riley Herbst for Corey Heim to get more experience as well as more time to find cup funding.
'Tis neither.
Yeah, okay. That was 47 minutes ago.
AKA they're taking the check from Herbst.
Yeah, and
Yes.
more monster money.
They are acquiring a charter. They are not buying a charter. They're getting it for free, is what I was getting at.
Oh, if like Herbst.
Because Herbst is going to buy it.
This is purchase it.
Is Boris Said racing this weekend?
Yeah.
Dub.
Oh, and what, the
Xfinity?
71 or the 17, whatever the fuck it is?
Xfinity, I think, 88.
88, yeah. You're right. I couldn't remember which one it was.
You silly, dumb,
You stupid.
baloney head, dude.
You lit liquor. Pickle, you kumquat. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Okay. What the fuck is up, Denny's? It's all loud. That's better. How are you guys on audio?
I haven't put my headphones.
It's loud.
Too loud for you?
I haven't put my headphones on yet. I'll let you.
Turn me down.
How's that? Is that better?
significantly.
Why is
Turn me down some more.
Turn it down some mo.
Turn it down some more.
Is that better?
Turn it down some more.
Down some mo.
That's
Nothing
you've shut me off. Can you turn
How's
me
that?
on now?
Turn me down some more.
Can you turn me on?
Hey, Dan.
I'm gonna need up.
Uppies.
My mic needs a little Viagra.
Uppies.
Uppies.
Hey,
Uppies.
how you doing?
Nope. One more. That's better.
Yeah,
Does it go in clicks?
that's good.
That's good.
How about now?
I was gonna bring the rest.
Can
of my
you
bag of
literally
chips.
not?
I'm actually gonna hit you in the face.
With? Up. Hey up.
Hey-o.
Hey up. You pointed to your boobies. Oh my God, you did.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
All right. Story posted.
YouTube.com/LIF. Oh, look. We're live.
Leave? We'll do it. Leave.
We'll do it live. Mm-hmm. How good were the Kiwis this weekend?
Yo, let's go.
Nice.
Block us here early. Yeah, I need to go up more.
You want more audio?
Uppies.
How's that?
That's probably better. Yeah, it's good. Much
Beep,
better.
beep, 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 beep.
Skeely bebop.
Shot of tequila beer on tap. Good-looking woman.
One bourbon. One scotch.
Won't be here. Ain't seen my baby since the night. Well, I was going to say the night before last.
Don't know when is also an option. Different verse. Was that song like 10 minutes long?
Yeah, easy. Need me a triple shot of that juice. Oh, man. Da, 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 da. Okay. Beverages.
We've got your koozies. I think Topics snuck a Topics koozie into our koozie box.
That sounds right.
But we don't use tall cans, so
No.
we should just make like an effigy of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Relum Nevek in here on the PC so he can adequately join us in the chat. Love it. Love it. All right. All right. All right. So we got that. We're going to need J-Ski for the old Norm picking a terrible scheme as always. I guess 71. If you pick the 71 again, I'm going to punch you square in the dick.
Why do you not think it's good?
I don't even remember. Was it the pink one, right?
Yeah, that was the Ambetter car.
And it was better.
Honestly, I couldn't hate that one at all. That was a good one. Yeah? You called?
Hello.
Did you say my last name? All right.
Go share the story, nerds.
Yeah. Do it.
He's talking to us, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Talking to you.
I thought you were talking about everybody in the chat.
No, the people I tagged.
Oh, that's us. Hey, that's me. Your boy.
Jesus, even Josh is on it faster than you guys.
Joshua?
Joshua?
Dad?
Joshua? All right. Big shouts. Kevin Miller, going to be my fact checker.
That's a problem. I don't like that they moved the camera. Now I'm fucking easily seen.
Yeah, you look good.
Not a fan of it. I like being incognito. I like being just the weird shadow voice from the realms. But now,
Now the weird shadow voice is Relim
ooh,
Nevek.
Just got a Snapchat from Dan Brown. I guess he's watching us. No, he's not watching us. Oh, rum and cocoa while he's opening the pool. All right, that's fine.
okay.
Fake friend.
TFDI, Dan Brown. Even though, like, the Snapchat literally said, come over.
Does he not know what night it is?
No, he
So
does.
that's a genuine TFTI.
That was actually an
That
eye.
was actually the eye.
That was the eye.
Yeah. No, they know
Yeah, but
exactly
you're
what time
thanking
it
him
is.
for the invite, legitimately.
Ah, actually,
Yeah.
It's not a sarcastic
he's
TFTI.
wins on a technicality on that one.
Yeah, this is Norm's show, and after all, so.
Not the only time I'm winning tonight.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's true.
Not last. Fuck, I gotta think of somebody to pick.
I get to pick first. Because I suck. All right.
I tuned in like just before the end of stage 2. First thing I looked at was the leaderboard, and I didn't realize it was so strategy based. And Chase was in like third. I was like, all the shit we gave Kyle for picking a fucking Hendrick car.
Chase wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad at all.
No,
he was
wasn't.
top 10.
And then as soon as and then shortly after I tune in, Ty Gibbs gets a pit road penalty, and I was like, yay!
He wouldn't be a bad one for this week.
Probably not, but I already picked him, so I'm out.
Yeah, you're out. All right, cool. So we got the chat up in the window.
To the window, to the wall, to the sweat drop down my balls. Oh, these females crawl. Ah, skeet, motherfucker. Sorry. There you go. Thank you, Kevin. I know you're a little behind, but it's good job.
No, they're a little behind us.
That's what I mean. He's a little,
There's
little
a
behind.
little delay. Which I get it, but still annoying.
It's weird because some days it's better than others. Like I feel like last week there was like it was minimal.
Yeah. All right, ready to rock and roll?
No.
I love you, Kevin.
God damn, Kevin, get you off the PC.
Let's rock.
He's just cranking it.
Nice. Six out of 10.
Yeah, it was all right. Too fast. usual. Always.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast, your podcast home for all things NASCAR and some things not. I'm Kyle Belcher, and joined, as always, by Daniel Walker.
I know what's wrong with it.
Nice. And Norman Pelletier.
I'm out of gas. I was hoping he'd finish it.
Yeah, you really
I was hoping you ain't got no gas in it.
On today's episode, we will talk some NASCAR news, talk about the weekend of racing, talk about our weekend of racing, answer some questions, have some fun along the way. But before we get into that, Dan, pay the bills.
Oh, we don't have any bills. Those are Josh's bills. We're just a bunch of freeloaders.
Fair. Help pay the bills. Go.
Brought to you this week and every other week by the Revival Motoring Network, the Revival Motoring Podcast, and revivalmotoring.com/P4B. Norm, what's that stand for?
Bucks for the boys.
That was awful.
That was great. That was great.
We had fun, but someone tomorrow morning is going to listen to this and be like, fuck these guys.
I hit the horn 15 times within 2 minutes.
Everyone skips past that and you know it.
True. We are there. This is the skip 30 button. Bucks for the boys. That is our value for value PBS
The bird flies at dawn.
Stop talking.
That's a skip 30 cue. I'm practicing for when we
that's
blow
right.
up and act like we don't know nobody.
That is our value for value PBS style way of keeping all these lights on in this joint, keeping the board a running, keeping the mics whirring, all that fun. And now
Mics are hot.
and now a camera working. We're on camera.
Hi.
Are we cam girls?
We are.
Nice.
We are.
Nice.
Hot tub stream.
Like, comment, and subscribe. For those that are only listening, Dan just put his feet up.
That's got to get us a couple clicks, right?
Couple toes right there.
Couple clicks. Yes, that is our way of helping Josh, the proprietor, owner, and mastermind of Revival Motoring, to keep the lights on in this joint. So you want to go over there. You can sign up for a monthly donation, $2, $5, $10, or $20, or any combination of those numbers to make a number that you like. It'll come out like a Hulu subscription. We're not going to force you to do it, but if you love us, you should do it.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
If you want to do a one-time donation of any amount of money you'd like, you can use PayPal. That is info@revivalmotoring.com.
Yeah.
That is also the home of Kyle's Race Day Challenge, also known as Joe's Ross Chastain Bet.
Ross Chastain Weekly. The Race Day Challenge is if you donate the dollar amount that matches the driver's number you believe will win on Sunday and guess correctly, I will send you a little something.
Yeah.
And stuff's going out probably Thursday because my stuff is supposed to arrive tomorrow. Our new merch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we have new merch coming.
Yeah. Koozies will be coming soon. So
yes, keep an eye out for koozies because that's a thing.
Yep. We're going to do that. All right. Cool.
Other ways you can help us out, not monetarily, is leave us reviews. We do not have any new ones. You can go leave written reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can leave 5-star reviews on Spotify. Go do both of those because they're sick and they help us out and they're fun. They're fun to read. They're really fun to read. So get after it.
I can do Spotify reviews now because I am a Spotify user now.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah. You got like gifted in or somebody gave you their Spotify or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's stealing.
So,
family plan.
Yeah. Other ways you can help us out. Share Norm's wonderful image when he makes it this evening and sends it out when we send it out tomorrow. Share the episode around. Share that you're listening on your story. So maybe somebody will go, yo, that's sick. I'm going to listen to them. Probably won't happen, but it's worth a fucking shot.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's pretty quick and tidy B for B minute.
Thank you, Dan, for that wonderful minute of B for B.
Of Bucks for the boys. Thank you. I was hoping you'd catch the cue there.
All right, we will get into our callback segment as we always do. We will quickly hit the TV ratings as always. For the Coke 600, got 3.1 million average viewers, which was slightly down from the 3.4 of last year. So not anything too crazy to write home about there, but nonetheless, there it is. Tyler in the chat. That's awesome.
Oh, I was looking at the one under him. Just don't even read it. Just don't let's let it live.
Yeah, you just get used to that, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Norm is now catching up
Oh,
after
there he
he's
is.
finished
And he's
TikToking.
back. The train has come back to the station.
Welcome back, Norm.
What?
Good morning.
Norm, what's that stand for?
Bucks with the boys.
All right, boys.
I'm Norm Pelletier. Welcome back, Norm. Anyway, all right, we will get into our race picks, shall we?
No!
All right, calling back to our race picks for the weekend at Gateway. I chose Mr. Chase Elliott.
Ha!
Dan chose Mr. Ty Gibbs.
What an idiot.
And Norm Pelletier takes the checkered flag with his pick of Mr. Brad Keselowski.
I'm so fucking sick of this game, dude.
Mans is a genius.
Yep.
I'm so sick of this game.
That brings our score to 11 points for me, 3
You
points for
son
Dan.
of a bitch. You already put your pick in.
Yeah, I get to pick first.
I was going to pick that one. Fuck.
You can't because
now-
you're not picking first.
Thank you. Now you've made me not
I
pick it.
helped you out
Now I
by
have
putting.
time. Now I have time.
If you looked at it yesterday, you would have saw that.
Oh, no.
You've had 24 hours to look.
I don't do anything.
So shut up.
24
I did you a favor.
Did you a solid.
Anyway, so brings our points to me with 11, Dan with 3, Norm with 9. And we got to look forward to our weekend at Sonoma and make our picks for Sonoma. So, with me finishing last for the first time in a long time, I am going to choose Mr. Michael McDowell.
Damn it.
We were all going to pick McDowell. We were all going to pick McDowell. That's just how this works.
I don't know who I'm going to pick.
Bro, I got...
Daniel Walker, you are on the clock.
fuck it. Give me C-Bell.
It's not a bad pick at all.
Twanky.
You still got Bell?
I've only picked him for the Clash, which he did not make.
Hold on, I got to look.
So, probably going to hurt that again, but
Yeah.
it's okay. No, I was kind of saving him because when I realized I hadn't used him yet, it was in the middle of his, couldn't finish above 30th.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to use him yet, and he's on a little bit of a hot streak.
I used him
right
during that.
Going to use him. He's on a little bit of a hot streak right now. So
Not anymore.
Not well. Motor's not. Motor's on a little bit of a sad
Not at
streak.
Sonoma now either.
True. I apologize.
That's where I was
in
going with
advance I apologize in advance to all JGR fans.
Norm?
You fucked us up by taking
Dude,
McDowell.
I'm going with Mr. Cam Waters.
Wow.
I was gonna say, do we have any weird ones this week?
We have Cam Waters and whoever's in the 33.
Oh, isn't that the other?
I think it's Retzlaff.
Is Retzlaff?
No, Parker Retzlaff?
Yeah.
No, that's for Daytona.
The 33
August.
is in. Isn't that the other supercars guy? Will Rogers, Will something or other.
Yeah. Will Brown.
Will Brown.
I was shocked SVG's not running this race.
Thank you, Dodger.
Yeah, Dinger's in the 16.
Yeah.
Fuck, that would have been a good pick too. Shit, I should have looked at that lineup before.
I already picked the 16, and I think it was Dinger.
I don't
It
think
was
mattered.
Dinger.
So I couldn't
Does
pick
it matter if the driver's different?
No, you can pick the 16 again if it was like SVG in
Yeah,
the 16,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
can't pick Dinger twice.
I already
Right.
picked SVG.
I
but
picked Dinger at Bristol, I think.
I picked SVG at Coda.
I'll give you the change if you want to switch it.
Yeah, give me the Dinger.
Okay.
I didn't know he was in the car this weekend, so yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
Okay.
I'm going to save
Wait.
him for the Roval,
Wait.
dude.
Hold on.
Take that back. I'll give you the change if you want to sacrifice
A point.
Bell.
Oh, and he cannot pick Bell again?
I'll give you the change, but you can't pick Bell again because
No.
you've held me to
No,
the fire.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Stick
I'll
with
stick
Bell?
with Bell. I'll stick with Bell. If I'm gonna lose him anyway, I might as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would have probably taken that deal. Dinger's a good pick.
But you know what? The Toyotas at Sonoma have been killer the last couple years. So
They have.
That's kind of where I'm leaning.
Yeah. I was gonna go Gibbs was my first thought, but I don't know if I trust him yet.
Yeah.
So McDowell's usually a safe,
I don't know.
fairly
Bell
safe
3
pick.
weeks in a row being good, though? That's a stretch.
Right.
I'm just banking on the Toyotas being
It's about
good.
that time of year that we forget he exists.
Yeah. True.
True. Until September, and then he wins his way, and all of a sudden he's in the Final Four.
Yeah. All right. So that does it for the race picks callback. Now we call back to everyone's favorite segment.
Is it though?
Not really, but it's time for Norm's Scheme of the Week.
where he critiques drop shadows and lines that no one cares about.
Norm's scheme of the week means we review every single one of them until he picks one.
2 people that care about
And then he's
going
going
to
to pick a really obscure
No one that cares about it.
Have I picked that scheme yet? The Bush
I
scheme?
don't. No, you have not, and it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I think I was saving it for probably this weekend.
Okay.
Scroll down. I don't love the Freightliner scheme.
I think you're wrong.
You're
I
wrong.
liked it
when they
on,
first.
I liked it on the Gen 6.
Yeah, when they
Yeah.
did when it came in New
This is just
Hampshire, it looked like Tron.
Yep.
There's so much empty space in it.
What?
What empty
Where?
space?
Well, I mean, like
Shut
what
up.
the logo could be.
Keep moving.
3.
So
I
by
liked
his
it.
logic, then fucking oh my God, Stenhouse should win this week. If you're going by logo
Dude,
size,
honestly, it's not far off.
I think they could probably make it a little bit bigger. Let's be honest.
They obscured the logo in multiple different spots. It made me mad. But the 3, I like the colors of it. I don't like real life pictures on cards.
Yeah,
though.
we've talked about that. And the first of the 3.
The overstock
So didn't
cars.
they have different roof colors? One was black, one was white, one was red. Is that
Correct.
what I was reading? Okay.
Yeah, the roofs were slightly different.
Really dug the chrome orange numbers on that this week.
Oh yeah.
Really dug that.
6 was sharp.
7, good scheme.
Chewies.
Chili Rita.
Rebel, not bad.
It's okay.
9,
I
didn't
like
hate
that.
it.
I like that
the
a
white,
lot.
The white
I-
Napa
I
cars.
The
think
huge
just because
Rain-X
It works
fits.
with the Rain-X.
Yeah. I wish the Napa had some form of outline, shadow, something.
Because isn't that the car you ran at Coda, but it had a different, it didn't have Rain-X on it. It had like their wiper blades or some shit on it.
Yeah, they swap out the quarter panel.
Yeah.
logo.
It just it
There's
it
too much
worked
blue.
well.
I mean, why can't you add yellow to that?
Danica Patrick.
That scheme is so bright.
It really is. Did you see the picture they took of the 3 overstock cars in the shop? Like all lined up in like a fan out, and then there's just the 10 back here, like being all bright and
The
shit.
traffic cone in
The
the, back of
traffic
the
cone
shop.
just hanging
Yeah.
out in the back.
Dun, dun, dun. 15 looked real good.
I like-
Wrecking every 5 seconds.
I like how you're
16's
stopping on the
hot.
really obscure cars because you know he's going to be like, that's the one.
17, I love this.
That was a
TH.
sharp
Yeah.
fucking car.
I just, dude, fucking drives me crazy. See how the numbers over the stupid RFK pillar things or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Move them back or, change the slant of the number.
19's the same, 20's the same, 21, 2.
Mickey D's.
Bubba, we've seen that a handful of times.
Eh.
This
I
Valvoline
liked
scheme,
this.
Eh.
the number ruins it for me.
What I don't
I
lo-
love the scheme, but the light gray with a white number looks so bad to me.
I don't love the blue on one headlight, red on the other headlight. I guess it is.
See, I like that.
It is the logo, but it just
I don't
like
know,
if
man. I
that's
thought it was really
something-
sharp.
it looks like I'm getting pulled over.
If Matt Wood's in the chat, he will love this.
Oh shit, it's the fuzz.
Oh shit, the cops are behind me.
The 24 car looks like I'm getting pulled over.
Does it not?
It does.
I love this scheme.
Oh, they can't run that ever again.
There's just the white numbers and then the associate logo being cut in half for no reason. There's just little things that bug me. Dude, make the scheme white, make the number a different color.
Fair.
I think it looks kind of bad to me. But
I didn't
Matt
like-
Wood would love this because he loves doing Valvoline schemes where the colors go down the sides and both sides are different.
Yeah.
Even though NASCAR would never allow it.
I don't know. I didn't like this when it first came out, when we saw it like in the off season,
Yep.
and it grew on me this week. Like seeing it on track, I didn't dislike it as much. Hold on. What's that? Joe Sanchez, they had the layer order wrong under the passenger headlight.
Looks the same on the driver's side.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. Well, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what he's talking about. I'm sure it exists. I don't mind the Poppy Bank scheme.
Yeah.
34, bright colors. 38, that logo.
Why is your
needs to
bush?
be
Why is your
slanted.
bush so rude?
Rudabush.
Rude bush.
41, yet another overstock car. 42 is terrible.
Bomb auto schemes are usually pretty good, though. That's a cool logo.
Serious.
45 looks horrible in that scheme.
Pisses me
Okay,
off.
47.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
I
Everybody settle in.
fucking loved it until they don't have it in this picture, but they put another Oikos sticker
Oikos.
on the quarter panel that covers half the O. Why? The whole point was to have a giant logo, and it looks cool, and I dig it. And then they put logos on top of it. It
Yeah.
looks horrible. And then the hood is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But honestly, the giant Oikos logo on the side, I
Hey,
love.
look, Bowman got by him in the next lap.
Pass, nerd.
Go back up. Bowman's behind him.
Yep.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's
way,
not the
way
same.
different lap. Damn it!
Yep. Nice try, though.
I tried.
Yeah, they got smoked by both colleagues. 51.
That thing's sick.
I love that scheme. That was a really good scheme.
It looked like a default like paint scheme.
But that's why I liked it.
It looks like the 38 microguard scheme they've run like 15 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
But it's sharp. I like it,
It's
though.
a good-looking scheme. It just didn't stand out enough compared to other schemes.
54 is the same. And Better
71.
Health 71.
Not their best work, but it's cool. Kind of
I think it's super sharp.
Scheme.
Yeah, I got that vibe. I like it. Wasn't bad at all.
76. I love the Ziegler schemes.
Yeah. They've Ziegler.
They have never missed a Ziegler scheme.
No.
On any car.
They put a lot of effort
all the
into
way
those.
back to Josh Bilicki in the 77, and then everything Josh Bilicki's running the Xfinity series. Also, shout out JB. He had a hell of an Xfinity race.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
In one of my favorite paint schemes of all time. That 19 Xfinity car.
Sharp.
Fucking
It
gorgeous.
was
Real sharp.
unbelievable how good.
Yeah,
that
when
car
I was working with them, they take, a lot of thought, put a lot of thought, I should say, into their paint schemes.
Yeah. 99, cool looking schemes.
I kinda
have
dig
no
that
idea
one.
what that company is.
Me neither.
something with privilege apparently.
Looks good.
That's the problem with Trackhouse is they have all of these companies
phone.
and you can't tell the difference between them. I don't know what any
Yeah.
of their companies do.
Yeah. So what's it going to be, Norm? What's the scheme of the week?
I'm gonna go with the Bush One car just because I don't think I've picked it yet. Like just the traditional Bush.
It's so sharp, and like we talked about, just going from the silver base on all Harvick's cars to the white base.
Plus,
It's
they got
unreal.
rid of the chrome number because it was originally rendered with a
At
chrome
Daytona,
number
did it have a chrome number at Daytona?
in the
Yeah, it was-
renders in like the show cars. But when it got to the track, or maybe after the duels, they changed it to a white
You're
number.
right. You're right.
And I think it looks so much better. I don't know if I've picked this scheme yet. If I have,
No,
I'm
he
sorry,
said you hasn't.
but I love this game, and I know for a fact I specifically said I was saving it for a later date because it would be
I like
one of my
teal and
schemes
blue.
of the week.
Like teal and blue.
Yeah, I love
There you
this
go.
game.
That's decent.
It doesn't have the mountains on the front splitter. You know, I point out Trackhouse likes to put the pattern on their little
Yeah.
splitter tape.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't this week.
Looks
It
good, though.
doesn't take away from the scheme. I just noticed that.
Yeah. Sharp looking scheme. All right. That does it for the scheme of the week. The number one Bush Light Ross Chastain Chevrolet Camaro.
Chevrolet.
Yeah, there you go, Joe Spinelli. You won.
Right. One time Norm scheme of the week winner.
That's a good. All right. How about you guys donate who you think Norm's going to pick? It just donate $71 every week.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can guess Norm's scheme of the week and donate it, then we'll send you stuff.
We can also be bought. Just letting you guys know.
Norm can be bought.
If Josh sends me the numbers ahead of time, whoever chooses Suarez's car wins. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that's that. And then we'll head into our Some Things Not segment, in which we call Off Track. Should we start with our combined Off Track?
We might as well because we all spent in different groups Friday together.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess we'll start with the. We'll do that last. What did you do other than
What
yeah.
we did. Okay, I'm down with that.
I'll go quick.
Go ahead.
So we did our media event, which we'll talk about shortly.
cares?
Friday.
Go on.
Shut up.
Shut up.
You guys headed up to the drag strip afterwards, but I went home. Had the pup, obviously. Had to let him out, whatnot. Decided to take the Harlequin out for some ice cream.
Ice cream.
Took a good half-hour ride to and from. Went to this nice ice cream farm that's down in the Bridgewater area. So
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Apparently on
Friday night.
On Friday night, when we were at the
We
dragway.
didn't get any ice
We could have got ice cream.
Friday was such a nice night.
It was unbelievable.
awesome night. Took that thing out for a little cruise. Went and picked up some food on the way home, which was nice. Saturday decided to carry on with the tradition of driving all of my cars in one weekend. Fired up the Cabrio for the first time.
Hell yeah! You were supposed to bring it on Friday, but you didn't.
I did not. Yep. So fired that thing up. No problems. Need some air in the tires. That's about it.
That's pretty much what I did to mine when I brought it
Yeah.
to dust off.
Took that out for some coffee. It was nice to cruise that thing around. Totally forgot that there's a problem when it gets too hot. The ignition switch doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, you'll have that in those.
Yep. So maybe had to give it a little bump start.
Maybe
No
didn't.
big deal.
Maybe,
Just fine.
maybe didn't. Maybe did.
But we had a
It
wedding.
allowed you to bump start it?
Oh yeah.
So it's just the start part of the ignition switch that
Yeah.
doesn't work? Okay.
Yep. That was Saturday. And then Saturday evening, we had a wedding out of Maine. Took a boat out of Portland. It was like one of those harbor cruise things. You know, they got
Yep.
the multiple decks and stuff. So they rented out the boat for their wedding, which
I
was
thought
really,
you were
really
in
cool.
Boston for that. So when you said you were all the way up in fucking Maine, I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
But no, it was a blast. We had a good time. And then Sunday, I spent the day doing house shit. Washed the truck, washed the Cabrio, washed the Harlequin, put them all away. before they got covered in pollen.
Yeah, your truck's already disgusting.
Bro,
truck is
my
an
truck
absolute
is
mess.
the color of Kyle's truck.
My
right
truck is totaled. It's so dirty.
Yeah, it's bad.
Today was bad. It wasn't that bad this morning when I got to work. Went outside for lunch and I was like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah.
It's caked with pollen.
Yeah, it was a much needed bath anyway. It was more like the inside that I was worried about.
I need to douche.
Wash the outside, waxed all the glass, and it's disgusting.
I gotta douche the inside of my truck.
They drive better when they're clean anyway.
They do. It's a proven fact.
Yeah, that's about it. What else do you guys have outside of the racetrack stuff that we're going to talk about?
So me and Dan hung out on Friday night. Saturday, I decided, fuck it. I'll take the S10 out for a little drive.
Got a little horsepower
Nice.
in your veins on
I
that
had
one.
to-
So hold on. Did we all drive our cars this weekend?
Yeah.
See, puppy.
Let's go. That's a round of applause for the boys.
Typically, I'm the lone man,
You're usually the only one that drives your
but
shit.
my truck's
so
been broken, I thought, for 3 months.
I haven't been able to in 3 years.
So I took
I
my
have no excuse.
I took my truck out Saturday because I needed to go to my shop, pay rent, and stuff like that. It was a beautiful day out, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Transmission leak aside, I'm going to go drive my truck a little bit. So I went to the gas station, put gas in it because publicly it doesn't have a fuel gauge, so I just put gas in it
every time.
every time I drive it, which isn't bad because 12-gallon tank. So it's like, oh no, $12. So I put gas in it, checked underneath it. Well, it was pumping, no leaks.
Good.
I was like, I didn't fix you. What's going on? Are you out of fluid? Which actually might be a real life. It's not like that.
Yeah.
A chat we will not.
I'm not
repeat.
reading that, but that's great.
That was great, Joe.
Took the truck out, like I said, got gas. It wasn't leaking, so I was like, okay, I see you. Went to the car wash, just rinsed it off. I wanted to get a nice underbody spray on the truck because
Nice.
it had been leaking.
Keep
So
going.
I was like, I got that sprayed. Took it to the shop, hung out for a couple hours, cleaned some stuff out of the truck that was still in it from dust off.
Yep.
The thing we went to.
Yes.
Dust off. Did a sick ass burnout leaving my shop because that's necessary, especially when your transmission's potentially falling out of the thing. Brought it home, kind of hung out, made some lunch, watched the Xfinity race, which was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
And then Sunday, I just did stuff around the house. Got like my laundry done for the week and stuff like that. Got some lunch stuff, and sat down and watched a really exciting Gateway race.
Nice. Dan, outside of track stuff, what do you got?
Also drove my car up to the track this weekend. Still remembered why I hated it. It's just loud. It's like I got home and I was like, I have such a headache. I did find the source of the mouse smell. It was for the second time in 3 years, there was a mouse house under the rain tray. So found that I noticed it a dust off. I was like, man, fucking stinks. And Thursday night, I was like, I'm going to pop the rain tray off and see what it looks like. Yeah. The old shop vac in the rain tray took care of that problem real quick.
You just start letting the kitty in the garage.
I got to start just not, whatever. It's where I live. We have mice. It is what it is. We have bunnies now, too.
Yeah, but you let that cat with his killer instincts go out there in the garage.
What, Cheese? He doesn't do anything.
He's got killer instincts. I can sense it.
No, he doesn't.
My cat's killed.
No, you just got to do the old dryer sheets.
Yeah, I'll do something. I always forget, and then I remember.
They have the little packages, Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
They have mouse packages that don't smell too
Yeah.
bad.
So, but actually got to drive that again, as usual. Ran flawlessly the whole day. Great. Wonderful. Saturday. Beautiful day. Went and we were going to go play golf. We were trying to decide what we were going to do, which day if we were going to go to the lake, not go to the lake, whatever. So we got up, played golf on Saturday morning-ish, late morning. It was the longest round of my life because everybody in the state was out playing golf.
Oh, yeah.
It was a solid 5-hour round, if not longer.
Is that long?
It's supposed to take 4 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
It doesn't sound bad, but when you're just standing there, like waiting on every hole, it's fucking annoying as hell. Mm-hmm. We had fun though. It was a good time. Steph shot her personal best. She had a fucking unbelievable day.
Yeah, we got a congrats to her in the chat too.
Yeah, Tyler's been holding up. He like DM'd her too, which is odd, but appreciate you.
I did too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Whatever. You guys can have her if you want. She doesn't like me anyway. But yeah, so that was fun. And then we were like on the fence. We went back
Congrats
home.
are overdue.
We were tired from being in the sun all day, and it was like I watched the end of the Xfinity race. It was fucking 7:00 by that point, and it's like we could go to the lake tomorrow, but the problem is getting up and getting motivated to go to the lake.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I know, Tyler, I'm giving you shit. So it was like we should.
If Dan's mean to you, that means he likes you.
Yeah, I was like, we should go up tonight. Not true.
Not true.
There's levels to this shit. So, like,
Anyway.
we were back and forth. It's like, do we go now or we just stay home, not go to the lake? Like, no one else was going. It was just going to be us. So it's like, she finally, like, 8 o'clock stands up and goes, fuck it, let's just go. I was like, all right, I told you I'd do whatever. So by the time we didn't get up there until about 10 o'clock, got everything loaded in. It was, we watched a movie and then just went to sleep. Ended up being the best choice. We literally just spent all day yesterday, Sunday. The day ended up being even nicer. They said it was going to be, like, kind of cloudy. Not a fucking cloud in the sky all day up there. Sat at the sandbar from like 12:30 to 5:30.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just
sitting on the boat.
She was reading books. We were hanging out. I was hanging out with the puppies. Just kind of literally just doing nothing. It was so nice to do.
Drinking beers.
Oh, absolutely.
Playing some music.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else do you need?
Beers. She read a little bit of her book. Like, you get hot, you hop in the water. You jump back out. It was like dry off.
It's perfect.
Got to pee, hop in the water. Like, it was so nice because when we usually go up there with a bunch of people, we're the type that we worry if everyone's like
having a good time.
Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say it's stressful, but we're always like, I can't just enjoy it because I'm like, does anyone want to be doing anything else? Like, do we want to go take a boat ride? Do we want to go out to the deep water and like go swimming? So when it's just us, you hitting emojis?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like one of the first times in a long time we've gone up just the two of us, and it was so nice, like just to chill, let the dogs fucking hang out. They were having a good time.
Tim Connors wants to know if Bob Seger was on blast.
No, we're more of
good pick though.
That is a good pick. I found a playlist that works really good on the boat. It's on Apple Music. It's just called The Sandbar. Okay. Solid mixture of like 90s country, kind of newer country, like kind of a mix of mash of all that shit. So works pretty good. Sometimes you're like, what the hell is this? But for the most part, works pretty well. Decided I do need a bigger system because the boat next to us had louder music, and I was like, I got to fix this problem.
I can help that.
I know. It's got really good speakers in the back, too. The front two, they got replaced, and they're trash. They're like duals, and you can barely hear them.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just overall, it was funny because we did nothing all day, relaxed all day long, went back to the house, watched the end of the cup race, made dinner, packed it up, went home. We were home by, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I woke up this morning, I was exhausted. I was like, I didn't do anything yesterday.
Yeah, I was the same.
But sitting in the sun all day, like, I mean, I had a little bit, not a lot, I had a little bit of sun. I'm trying to fix the white t-shirt problem, but I just was gassed all day just from sitting in the sun, drinking beer, having snacks.
Yeah, it'll drain you.
But it was great. Honestly, it was just a nice, like, reset. We said it multiple times yesterday. I am so glad we said fuck it and came up here because if not, we would have been doing the exact same thing, but at home on the couch, not outside. Enjoying
and if anything goes like it did last year, we could have a shit ass summer. Exactly. Then it rains every damn weekend. So take advantage of it when you can.
Before we were on the boat,
banging start.
Even before we went on the boat, like getting up, making coffee, sitting outside on the patio at the camp, like sitting at the picnic table, just drinking coffee. The dogs are kind of derping around in the yard, rolling around, having fun. She's like, we don't sit outside at home because like the bugs are really bad and shit. We just hang out inside. So we'd be doing the exact same thing, just not enjoying the beautiful 80-degree day we had yesterday. So it was awesome. It was perfect.
It's awesome. All right, so now let's get into our on-track, off-track. So Friday, we were invited yet again to New Hampshire Motor Speedway's Media Race Challenge.
Yep.
This is our third year doing it, right?
This is our third year. For those new to the show, that is when basically they have the one of the driving experiences. The last 2 years, it's been the NASCAR driving experience. I think, was it 3 years ago was the Rusty Wallace experience. So we've had a little experience with both of them. But yeah, it's set up much like if you were to go just pay for it yourself. It's the same experience that you would get if you went and just bought the experience, but they invite local media members. There was people from local radio stations, a couple local news stations.
Yep.
There was us as a podcast. Timmy was up there from Wicked Fast Podcast.
The man.
There was two other guys with a podcast.
Yep.
I'm trying to think anyone else. That was pretty much it. It was all stuff like that, just local. Yeah. Basically, it's, hey, come check the track out. Like, it's different for us because we're going to the race. We know all about it. But for some of those other people, they've never experienced NASCAR. They want them to go back to their prospective radio station, news station, whatever, and be like, hey, look at this NASCAR thing. Hey, by the way, it's coming in 2 weeks. You should buy tickets.
Yeah, it's a great promo.
It's a great promo. And I saw that they do this at other tracks. I remember last year the Barstool guys did it at Richmond, and it was set up as like a media day as well. Same exact thing. So I like that tracks do this. It's really cool.
Yeah, and Channel 5 in Boston had the quick story on it as well with our buddy Kevin. Works over there.
I saw that, yep.
So we were highlighted in the background.
We were in that. We were on the news.
Yeah.
We had helmets on. You couldn't tell it was us, but
I knew it was us.
I knew it was us.
So yeah, like Dan said, set up much like any of the regular experiences. So we got up there in the morning. They do the driver intro, the safety meeting, the whole 9 yards. Also, big shouts to New Hampshire Motor Speedway's updates to the media center.
They did they did half of it last year. They finished it over the off season. It is beautiful in there. Like
the bullpen, wonderful.
It's so nice. Like the artwork on the walls, the tables, the finishes, everything looks.
Got to work on power strips though.
Power, yeah. The
little light on power strips.
The middle tables, Shannon. If you're listening, I know you occasionally listen to us. The middle tables,
every week.
Middle tables. Where's the power at?
Yeah, might be one of like we have here, like the plugs underneath.
Maybe
could be. I didn't look that far. But anyway, so we got to. Some people did the ride-alongs. I did not do a ride-along with the instructor. But then you get in the cup car and they take you out, and you got a spotter in your ear telling you what to do. Great time as always.
They were trying to expedite it a little bit this year. Years past, we do the ride along, then you drive, and Shannon asked some of us that have done it a couple times, like, hey, do you mind not? They're like, do you want to drive first, then do the ride along if you want? And we were like, yeah, we're fine with that. Like, absolutely. Let the people that have never done it before have the fun in the ride along.
I was in a car right away.
We were like the third or fourth people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Which was awesome as always. And what New Hampshire also does is they do like 3 specialty items for food.
Yep.
That we get to sample and, pick our favorites,
Basically,
if you will.
We voted on them, and we get to choose what everybody at Loudon eats.
Yeah. Yeah. It's their special item for the weekend, which is wonderful. There was like it was a chorizo poutine, right?
Chorizo poutine.
The like puff pastry thing was like apple
it was a
peanut
maple,
butter fluffernutter thing.
It was a maple apple fluffernutter, like, dare I say, croissant style pastry?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And then the last one was like an Italian grinder. It was like sausages instead of like cold cuts and stuff. Whew, unreal. All 3 of them were fantastic. I picked the grinder just because I'm a huge dad.
You're a big Italian guy.
I'm shocked this somehow sounds healthier than the last year's options.
Wasn't last year like the donut burger?
Cheeseburger?
The donut cheeseburger?
Yeah.
2 years ago, though.
And then there was a whoopie pie, too, like a maple whoopie pie.
Yeah, the maple whoopie pie. Forgot about that one.
Frozen hot chocolate from 2 years ago.
Greatest thing ever.
I still dream about that.
I still tell people about that.
Same.
So, Shannon, I know you're listening. Bring it back.
Yeah, for us. We'll just bring it to my campsite.
Yeah, do that. Meet us in X slot.
Just send Steph the recipe.
Yeah.
And she'll
that's
have
fair.
it brewing all weekend.
Absolutely.
She's great at rip-off recipes.
Hell yeah.
The pro. So, yeah, we had an awesome time. Dan, you finished?
5th, again. I went back and looked. I thought I was 5th every single time. Me and Kevin just keep switching. The first year we did it, Kevin was 4th. I was 5th. Last year, I was 4th. Kevin was 5th. And now this year, Kevin was 4th. I was 5th.
Correct. I have made it to the podium yet again.
Every year, Kyle's on the podium.
But I did not win. I lost to our good buddy Tim over at Wicked Fast Podcast. So big shouts to him.
He is the first repeat winner and the first three-peat.
Correct.
Or not three-peat, but 3-time winner.
He's the 3-time winner out of 7.
Yep.
Only dethroned by me.
Yep.
2 years ago.
Yep.
So I have finished 1st, 3rd, and 2nd. 3 years.
I'm consistent. I'm having good points days. That's all that matters. Kyle is
my average finish of 2nd stays.
Still pretty sure Kyle's stewing because I got to go twice.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle wanted to.
I was so mad.
So we get
Tim Connors in the chat. Always start with the Star Spangled Banner on max volume. Kyle taught me that.
Yes.
We were at Tony's bachelor party, and I got a hold of the touch tunes and started with the Star Spangled Banner and started hollering at people that did not take their hats off.
So we go out for our first runs, and I get in the car, and they're having issues. Like, apparently the kid before me, the video didn't work or something. So I was all excited because Kyle was in the car next to me, and we were going to go out like one after the other. So I was like, sick, we're going to be on the track at the same time.
Yeah.
Then I proceeded to sit there for like 10 minutes while they fiddled with the video camera, put a new one in, had to get the cable all routed. Guy dropped the memory card in my lap. I'm all strapped in, like wheel on, and he drops a micro SD card in my lap, and I'm like, oh, I got it. It's right here. Like this little.
Speaking of which, did you bring that?
Huh? Fuck, I meant to bring it. Sorry.
No. Okay.
Next week. I'll bring it to you next week. I left it in a place to grab it and completely spaced it. So I go out, do the run. Not the best run. It is what it is. Come back in. I'm bummed out because I knew it was really slow. We were basically following the rules very much this year, at least with the spotter I had.
Mm-hmm.
I got yelled at multiple times.
Ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby.
So I come back in, and I'm bummed out because I know it was not good. And they go, hey, your video didn't work. Do you want to go again? Absolutely.
I was pissed.
Oh, Kyle's like, you're going again? He was all mad because he was jealous. So I wanted a car there were 2 lanes of cars basically, and one spotter was taking the inside lane of cars on pit road. The other spotter had the other lane. So I made sure to get in the other lane so I could experience the other spotter, and he let me have a lot more fun. Yep. So went out, made another run. In total, I think I got like 8 laps, which was cool.
So unlike Joey Logano, Dan had 800 laps of practice, and I still beat him.
Way to take my joke. I said that to you in victory lane. I was like, I got 800 laps practice. What's the problem?
And I still beat you.
We had a blast. It's so fun every year. You know, it's a good time. It's fun that we get to do that.
Yeah,
know?
and they're so nice to us. Like I posted it in our story. If you're listening to us, you probably saw it. We consider that place home not because it's where we've grown up going anymore. It's because they treat us like one of their own.
Yeah, when you walk in and Shannon's like, you guys made it. Like, you're excited to see us. David's all, happy.
When the GM of the track and everyone that runs the show there is excited to see us, it's just the best feeling.
It is.
And we get to go back in 2 weeks.
And we're also permanently there, permanently until they redo the media center again, because there's a giant picture of 2 years ago's race.
Yeah.
From like a fisheye lens over turn 1, and hiding in the corner just over the outlet. You can't really make us out, but there in all his glory is Topics Under the Stairs, John Stairs.
Yeah.
It's very easy to pick out a very pale, tattooed, shirtless man.
Yep.
in a crowd.
Yeah. I don't know if we've actually told John that or not.
I don't think so.
But John, if you're listening to this, you are on the wall inside the media center about 3 feet from where the drivers are interviewed.
Yep. It's a big panoramic picture of the whole track, and last year we were like, I bet you were in this, and we're poking around looking at it, and sure as hell.
I see John Stairs' belly with a big tattoo in the middle of his belly. I was like, I know that stomach. So that was an awesome time. So big shouts to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We love you all. Thank you for loving us like one of your own.
Yeah, we had a blast.
And thank you for inviting us, as always.
So much fun. So then I left there, blasted home, and this weekend was the New England Nationals up at Epping, New England Dragway.
Super nice facility.
Yeah, no, it's not. But it's got character, so who cares? So Norm and Kyle was busy with other things like driving the Harlequin.
Yep.
So me and Norm and my Stephanie.
Norm and I.
Norm, myself, and Steph.
Yeah. The 3 of us.
Me, myself, and Irene.
Yes, that one.
Great movie.
Blasted up to Epping. It's only like a half-hour ride from my place. Went and watched some shit go real fast.
Mm-hmm.
That I've seen those before, but it was like 10, 11 years ago. There is nothing that can prepare you for 2 funny cars going by you at 330 miles an hour.
Mock Jesus.
Like, we stood top end for the first couple runs, and the first couple didn't make full hits, so you're getting them going by.
The very first run we saw, the guy put it in the fence.
Oh yeah, the guy rubbed the wall, and
which
then
you can't tell. Obviously, he's going 300.
Couple other guys made like half passes, and then the first 2 cars that went by full song, it feels like you're getting kicked in the chest. Kyle, you're getting distracted.
No, I wasn't there for this. You guys keep talking. I can look at the chat.
I'm helping you be there with us.
I'm listening to
Kyle's shadow banning people on YouTube right now.
No.
So we watched we watched a little bit from the top end. We go walking around. The pits at the NHRA races are the coolest fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're able to go places when we have our essential passes at Loudon.
Well, not even that. All right. Before we even get to watch any of the races, we walk in, we park on one side of the track, we walk to the other side because that's kind of the fan area, the garage area. 30 seconds after we walk in, Dan goes, all right, I need to find a bathroom. He's kind of looking to the right to try to find an available porta-john. And by us on the left, rips by John Force on a moped.
Like, just
like in the fan area, not even like staging lanes or like
he was near
where
the
his
food.
Team is. He was just ripping through the fan area on an old moped.
Nice.
And I look over and I freaking slap Dan on the shoulder. I was like,
John Force.
That was John Force. And he's like, what?
Yeah. So we watch a couple runs and stuff. We go down to the pit area, and it's just unbelievable how much access you get there. There's no special pass. We paid $50 for the night, and that's everything. You can go everywhere, except like the special. A lot of the teams have little like hospitality areas that you have. You know, obviously, got to be with the team, but regardless, you could pretty much go anywhere. We stood there, 5 feet from them rebuilding the motor. We watched them. I think with the car that ended up the funny car that ended up sitting on the pole.
John Force's teammate, the
AAA
car that looks like Joey Logano's AAA car.
We sat there for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes just watching them choreographed rip this motor apart, put it back together.
I'm pretty sure at an NHRA race, you can literally just walk into where they're rebuilding the engine. They'll be like, all right, you just like move over a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they give a shit.
Almost got run over by a top fuel dragster.
Oh my God, they ripped through the pits.
They just ripped through the pits, and they're like, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. And then, so Kyle, we look up, there's an Escalade towing a dragster coming towards us, and we're like, all right, we'll get out of the way. So we step basically to the line of like where they have like a rope up where you can't go into that garage area we were walking.
So we're
we were
like
watching.
hugging a hauler.
We're against the hauler. All of a sudden, the Escalade peels off, and the dragster's just freewheeling it down the middle of the lane. He's doing 15, 20 miles an hour, and then turns directly at us. And I had a moment of like, oh God, it just came unhooked from the Escalade, and now we're all going to die.
Right. Nope. Is there somebody in that car?
It was completely planned. They unhook, they peel off, he slides up, slams on the brakes. There's a guy waiting there with a little cart, hooks it up to the front,
like
whoop, into the pits it
2
goes.
feet next to us. Guy doesn't say a word to us.
Yeah.
He's just standing next to us with a little dolly that just all it has is like a little hook on the front of it that hooks on the front of the dragsters. He's just standing next to us, doesn't say a word to us. We have our backs turned to him. And next thing you know, they're just like hollering down the lane. Oh, look out, car. And dude doesn't fucking dragster comes zipping in right next to us, stops like an inch from this dude. He just lifts up the front and backs into the hauler on the other side. We're just like, a little heads up from this dude would have been nice.
Scope,
Or at least tell us to move.
Like, hey guys, watch your back. That would have been great. But my heart was in my throat for a second because I looked up and there's a top fuel dragster coming straight for us. I was like, oh God, we're going to die. So we hung out, watched that for a little bit, moseyed down, got to see one who we will get to in the news, got to see one Mr. Tony Stewart.
Yep.
He looked like a happy man, maybe a little weight lifted off his shoulders.
And off his belt. Because he looks good.
He does. He looks jacked, dude. Like he jumped out. They pulled his car back in when we were watching.
It's from carrying that twice as heavy wallet around now.
Same thing though. Like they come flying in.
Only person here who's made $100 million this week. That guy.
Yeah, he's riding in the truck that was pulling the car. But as soon as they stop that truck, he jumps out. He's helping push the car back into the like. He looked very very happy. But then a massive crowd swarmed his hauler, and we were like, "Yep, time to go."
Yep.
So we hung out. Ended up staying until the night qualifying sessions, which I've never seen before. Unbelievable.
Just green flames for days.
Those things are cool enough during the daytime, but then you add in like 6-foot flames out of each side on both lanes. Unbelievable experience.
And then you top that with a track that hasn't been updated since like 1977.
Yep.
And the lights are
Trash.
references, if that.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's
Couple
like
candles.
They're legitimately like just glowing down the track because
It was so cool.
poorly lit.
They're lumen.
Yeah. So we watched that, and the whole time I'm talking to our listener, Mr. W, who recently, within the last, what do you say, he's done 6 races. He got a job with TRD, their NHRA team, or all the teams. He works for Toyota. He's basically in support of all the Toyota teams. I didn't know what he did. He's important.
He kind of explained it to us. Still don't 100% know what
I
he
get
did.
it. I
but
get what he
dude's
did.
busy.
I thought he was like, I don't know, for some reason, I thought he said something about taking video. I thought maybe he was like a social media guy or something. Nope. In between runs, all the teams and stuff have guys running up and down the track, and they jump out, and they have these boxes that basically you put it on the pavement and you put weight on it. And there's a thing, he kind of explained it. I'm going to do a poor job of explaining it, but there's a thing that goes down and basically rubs against the track, and it measures how much traction the track has. So they're running around at different points of the track. He'll be at the 300 foot, at the 60 foot, at the starting line, all while these runs are going on. In between runs, he jumps out, checks the track, gets the numbers, and then radios it back to all the teams. He said they have like a Slack account with all the crew chiefs. So he'll be like, hey, the track's currently at blank. And then they set their cars up.
Wow.
It was really cool to watch him. I mean, the dude was up and down the track the whole time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because Dan was messaging him on the Discord, and we're sitting right about the 300-foot line in the grandstands that we picked for like the final qualifying runs of the night. And he's messaging Dan. He goes, yeah, I'm on the track. And we're like,
I'm thinking he's at the starting line with everybody else.
Okay, like that's cool. Like maybe he's taking pictures down there, doing whatever he does down there. And we look, and he's 20 feet in front of us in the grass, like right in front
And he
of us.
waves at us. He's like, hey.
We're like, oh, that's where you are.
And then he jumps out onto like a car goes by, he jumps out onto the track. I'm like, whoa.
Whoa, where you going?
Wait a minute. So we ended up, after the final qualifying session, we met up with him by the starting line, shot the shit with him for a little bit. Super awesome to meet him. Awesome, dude.
Sounds like also working for NHRA. Sounds like a fun job.
Yeah, not bad.
Because they do the whole weekend and they're running every day, but it's like, we talked about how like congested the pit road or the garage area is. they're all just partying all night.
He said that they had, I guess there was some sort of event that weekend. It was always at Epping, or I forget exactly the premise, but one team.
It was, I think it was John Force's team or one of the other teams lost a member of their family, and this was like his favorite track, or like it was on the anniversary.
So
of this
they do
weekend.
a huge barbecue, and the entire pit lane goes there. The entire garage area is there. He posted in Discord yesterday or Saturday, like him having lobster and shit. I guess they make this massive barbecue for everybody to come hang out in the garage area.
That's awesome.
It was just like one giant family down there, and it was really,
but
really
it sounds
cool.
like a legitimately fun job.
Yeah.
Congrats to him for doing it. Hopefully the travel's not too bad and he gets to enjoy some of it.
Yep.
I know they're leaving from here, which is New England, which is, like we said, a hole-in-the-wall 50-year-old track that needs a lot of updating. They're going like right to Bristol.
I think they go to Bristol after this,
which is probably one of the nicest facilities in the country. So it's going to be a little culture change there, but good luck to him. Super cool to meet him. He's absolutely a handsome young man, and he's doing a hell of a job for Toyota.
Gives me big Jeffrey Earnhardt vibes. He's a big dude, big boy too.
Okay.
He's
So he's like way more man than all of us.
a little bit of big country
Yeah.
in him. He's got some big country in him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are all compliments.
These are all compliments.
Awesome.
But yeah, we had a blast. It was a great. I posted it on my story. I was like, "What a Friday! Fucking driving race cars, drive my shit box, drive race cars, watch race cars. I had a great Friday.
We had a great weekend.
I had a really good weekend.
We got to drive race cars. I took the Harlequin out, the Cabrio out, washed the cars.
Had a wedding.
Got some sun. Wedding on the boat was a good time. I didn't know anybody, but like whatever. I was
make
good
it fun.
gingers and
Yep.
got to scenic cruise through Portland
Yep.
on a boat, which is whatever. That's worth it right
Yeah.
there.
How much did I'm on a boat go through your head during the wedding?
Yeah, I didn't even think of it.
Yeah. I would have been
Shame.
humming it to myself the whole time.
I was just like, I wonder what time the bar's opening. I
You've
wonder
brought
if it's
shame to your
open bar
family
or
for
not.
that.
Oh,
It was not open bar.
also, speaking of Tim Connors, just reminded me of something. He said he's prepping one of his cars to sell. Sold the old camper on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's right.
So that is out of my fucking hair. And I forgot how much, again, we talk about it all the time, dealing with Facebook Marketplace and selling shit. When you're selling something bigger like that, the like weight off your chest when it's finally gone. Like we've all sold $100 things. You're like, whatever. If it sells, it sells. If not, fuck it. I don't care. But when you're trying to sell something like that, it's like, oh, thank God it's gone finally.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
gotta
have to think about this anymore.
I'm dreading that I have to put up the F-150.
Oh, your dad,
The red truck.
Was that your grandfather's?
grandfather's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like between that and then a couple weeks ago selling the jet ski, which again, weird seeing it on our lake.
Oh, you saw it?
We saw it both weekends. We saw it last weekend and this weekend. He was hanging out at the sandbar, shot the shit with the guy. He actually took it with my straps still on it on the trailer, so he gave me my straps back last week. But it's so funny to see it. And
Hey, at least he's getting used.
and Rocco, my dog, hates it because the jet skis always meant that like mom was on it and wasn't with him, so he screamed at it all the time.
Nice.
Like, when we had them, we'd leave the house. I'd be on the boat with him. She'd be on our jet ski, and my sister be on the one that we sold the guy. He'd freak out the whole time because not everybody's together. And then if we were at the sandbar and like I jumped on the jet ski and took off, he'd freak out the whole time. So we're thinking, we don't have to deal with that anymore. Great. And I think it's the sound. Because
He knows the jet
He
ski.
knows the jet ski because that guy showed up to the sandbar, and then like yesterday, he hops on it and takes off to go have fun, and Rocco's losing his fucking mind. And we're like, dude, we're right here.
Yeah, we're here.
It's not us.
That means somebody's missing.
Yeah, exactly. He loses his mind.
He's
But-
used to corralling. That's his thing.
that's his thing. He's the Secret Service. He has to make sure everyone's in good shape. He
Of course.
checks the perimeter.
Of course.
But so it's just getting those two big things out of my hair. It's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah,
You know?
that's awesome.
Yeah, the camper sale was huge for you guys, considering you sat on it for like a year,
Yeah, that was
if not a little longer, and you still got the money you wanted for it. It seems like you sold it to a really
it
cool dude.
still was better than trading it in, basically, even though we procrastinated all last summer and then it was like,
which
shit,
is
it's too late.
what I'm hoping for with my snowmobile that hasn't sold
Yeah.
yet. I'm just like, I'm hoping that I just wait long enough for that guy, because like it doesn't owe me anything right now. Well, it owes me a lot, but I don't owe anything on it, so it's kind of like I'm waiting for the right offer.
Well,
and I
Steph
can
was
do
Yeah, that's like a late fall. Put it up on market.
well, that's what
I
we did.
did.
So
And it didn't sell.
it's because it
so
didn't
now,
snow.
Yeah,
But
we
that's
have
why
fall,
now it's
winter.
like fuck.
That's why we sat on it for so long, because we waited all summer, procrastinated. Then it was fall, and it's like, well, I'm not going to sell the thing now because we're going to get bottom dollar for it.
right, or
Let's
the dude's
wait.
gonna be like, "Can you just hold on to it for 6 months?" And you're like,
Yeah.
okay. Am I gonna hold on to it? And this dude's gonna back out. or
So
whatever.
we paid it off with our tax return, which was supposed to go to other things. So Steph was stressing out. So now that sold, we were able to take care of the other things. And it's a good thing it sold because the GTI is going to cost me a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
I'm in the hole on that thing, but I cannot wait to get it back. I need it. I'm sick of driving my truck. I love my truck. It's very comfortable. But I watch the mileage go up, and I'm like, ugh, I want my car back.
Yeah.
So,
all right, cool. Shall we hit it?
sure.
Breaking news.
The news.
Wow. Lots to unpack.
That was a big the news because it's a big the news week.
Yeah. Let's just start with some of the smaller bits, and then we'll get into obviously the elephant, if you will.
That's not, yeah.
Yeah. We'll start with AM Racing. AM Racing announced that Haley Deegan's crew chief, Joe Williams, was let go, if you will, and racing competition
they were
director.
just kind of like going their separate ways.
Yeah.
Which is usually like friendly talk for we fired him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
racing competition director Matt Lucas will step in as interim in the time being. So, thoughts?
I think they're blaming the wrong person for the performance of their race car.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence on that one, but I agree. I agree, but I don't at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this shows to me their commitment to her, which I think is a great thing. You're going to stand behind your driver, and you're committed to them improving. I mean, we also have to keep in mind that she's still a rookie. Like, you can't really expect a whole lot out of a rookie. She's kind of kept it clean for the most part the last couple weeks, so I guess heading in the right direction. She's not in the conversation as she has been in the past, being in a wreck every single week. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks for Joe there, but hey, if you're not improving, you got to make some changes, and it's not going to be the driver clearly. So that's kind of the next step in the process. So, sucks for him. Hopefully things work out.
He was the crew chief for Brett Moffitt last year when they started that team, and obviously they had a lot more success last year. I mean, finished 16th in points, I believe. Had a string of top 10s there at the end of the season. Had a much better average running position.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like if they think that he's the cause of the struggle, it's like I don't think that's the case. But if it is a fit thing, and he wasn't giving Haley the support that she needed, or so they think, then I understand it. But at the same time, I feel like they're blaming the wrong person for the success of the team at this point. I don't think that's a fair judgment to make.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
you're not firing the driver.
If they think that they can find somebody better, and they actually do, I'm here to see it. But
yeah,
I
we'll see.
think it's like it's kind of unfortunate. Like the wrong people are making decisions, and other people are getting affected by it.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, some Spire Motorsports news, because we found out that Clint Boyer will be back.
Where did this come from?
I have no idea, but I'm super excited about it. Clint Boyer to drive the number 7 truck at Nashville.
I'm 100% down for this.
I'm so excited.
Right?
Not to mention the party in Nashville with Clint as a driver is going to be insane for that team.
Yeah.
They are not prepared for what Clint is going to bring for energy to Nashville. Like, that is where he's going to thrive.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be super cool.
He's going to be hungover.
I have no idea when the hell the last time Clint Boyer raced a truck was.
Has he
I'm
ever
guessing
raced a truck?
something. I think he went straight from late models to Xfinity for RCR. I don't know if he ever raced a truck.
I would ask our Google guy, but he's too busy talking about Magic the fucking Gathering in our chat right now.
Fucking nerds, dude.
Nerds.
Grow up. But yeah, it's super random announcement. Super cool. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a huge Clint Boyer fan. Those trucks are so fast, so it's not like he's...
People already changed the Wikipedia. Why his middle name's Edward? Clinton Edward Boyer.
Strong name.
Semi-retired professional stock car racer and commentator for NASCAR on Fox. He competes part-time in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, driving this number 7. You mean once?
Still part-time.
Extremely part-time.
Dude, I honestly think you might be right. I don't think he... No, truck... Oh, no. He's run 14 races over 6 years.
Oh, in trucks? He's got like 10 top 10s, 3 wins, right?
Best... That can't be... No. 2006...
Dodger is saying 46 Jack Daniels truck. Obviously, that was an alliance with RCR, so that...
Says his last...
46, would that have been a Kevin Harvick truck?
He has 3 wins and 10 top 10s and 2 poles.
Did I not just say that? Yeah. To a T?
I hadn't scrolled.
I literally just said that. I hadn't spot on.
Down far enough.
Spot on. I was like, was it 3 wins, like 10 top 10s? Like, and you're like, oh.
I hadn't scrolled down. But his last race, for Norm asking, not that I care about you, was the 2016 Toyota Tundra 250 at Kansas.
2016 is way more recent than I thought.
Way more recent than I thought.
That would have been SHR. 2016, or did he not start SHR until 2017?
I don't know, but his first race was in 2006 at Martinsville.
Yeah, that's what I figured was.
SHR 2017. That's when he started.
So 2016 was that H. Scott year.
Yeah.
I think he just needed something good, so he went and raced in the truck series just to try to get a little bit of confidence in himself, because that was a bad year to be a Clint Boyer fan.
It's not a good one, that's for sure.
I'm super excited about it. I love Clint. I love Spire, so I think it's a good fit. It'll be cool to watch them do it. He already announced that he's going to be on Kevin Harvick's super annoying podcast immediately after that.
Why is it super annoying?
Because they just shove it down our face the entire time.
Oh,
The
yeah,
entire
it's brought to you by
podcast, or
Fox.
The entire broadcast.
Yeah,
Dude,
but wouldn't you
during the
say
Cup
yes
race-
if they were like, we're going to shove Lucis Fast down everyone's throat?
Absolutely.
Yesterday during the broadcast, we had like 5 laps of green flag runs. They go to a commercial. After the commercial, we get another 5-minute commercial that is airtime of Kevin Harvick's podcast.
Yeah, it's Fox. What do you expect?
Yeah.
It's just, I find it extremely annoying because it's like, it's a podcast, leave it to podcasting.
Yeah. It's like the Xfinity Series advertising the Xfinity Series during the Xfinity Series race.
Yeah.
It's Fox. So
Wasted time.
It is. Yeah, it's Fox. So we talk about it every single week. Nothing surprises me anymore. All right. Next bit of news. Richard Childress Racing in the news because we found out what was happening with Mr. Austin Hill. We talked about this last week. He was fined $25,000 and docked 25 points for intentionally wrecking Cole Custer last week.
Glad they did something.
Yeah, 100%.
So who was, okay, not to go back on the last thing, but Dodger just tagged me in a picture on Discord. His last race was in the 24 truck, the Georgia Boot Silverado.
That was
Who would
that
that
was
have
probably
been?
for H. Scott.
Yeah, because it's got 5-hour energy on the back
Let me
and
see
peak.
Let me see the font. That might be H. Scott,
And it's got his
but that also might be GMS.
Yeah, it's got 5-hour energy on the deck lid. It's got peak on the quarter panel. I can't see a team name on. Oh, it is GMS. Yep, on the
GMS,
headlight, it's
yeah.
GMS.
Yeah, that doesn't look like H. Scott's numbers.
So
GMS 2016, fourth race of the season. Kansas finished 5th.
there you go.
Back to what we were talking about.
Sorry.
Austin Hill, yeah. I'm glad they did something, but I mean, every time we've seen something similar to this in the past, it's been a suspension.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the disappointing part about it. I'm glad it took them out of the points lead, or further away from the points lead, dropped them down to I think 3rd in points.
Correct.
Yep.
So it is a hit for him.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the guy he got into the wreck with and then eventually totaled, Cole Custer, lost a lot more points in that race because of getting wrecked out of a top 5 finish and finishing 30-something. So unfortunately, it evened out the playing field for those two, because it would have been just sweet, sweet karma revenge if he got the 25 points and Cole Custer took the lead. I think that just would have been funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something. I don't think it was enough, but I'm glad they did something.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few people message me and ask about it, and I saw it on Twitter too. They're like, oh, the fine wasn't enough, whatever. You got to keep in mind that the fines kind of like tier down as you go down in series, obviously. If you're going to get fined, $75,000 in Cup, you're going to get fined $25,000 in Xfinity and maybe like $10,000 in Truck. So you got to keep that part in mind. I agree with you. I mean, I'm glad they did something.
Right.
I wish they did more because I've had it with him,
Right.
as I feel like a lot of people
an
have.
intentional wreck, and we've seen it with the right hooking. We've seen multiple suspensions in the past few years with right hooking. But an intentional wreck under caution should warrant more than a monetary fine. And
I agree.
Points.
I think if it was a right rear and into the fence, more so than like a lift and push,
Yep.
it probably would have been more. But either way, I'm glad they did something. I haven't seen him or RCR or anybody say anything about this. Have you?
And I haven't seen anything. I bet they don't say anything until they get to an oval. Just because they know they're not going to be in the conversation for the next couple of weeks, so they're kind of laying low.
Yeah, fair enough.
If we did this and they go to Atlanta the next week, where Austin Hill is going to be up front and having a lot of coverage, I think they would have had a press release. But because we were going to Portland and now Sonoma, where Austin Hill will do decent but not probably be center stage, I bet they'd kind of just stay quiet for that.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, one more quick bit I wanted to add. Beard Motorsports announced that Parker Retzlaff will be driving their 62 at Daytona this August. So congratulations to Parker on that opportunity, and just always happy to see the Beard car there.
Yes.
Yep. Love Beard. I have no affection for Parker Retzlaff.
Me either.
Seen him race a couple times. He races with Jordan Anderson, which everyone likes Jordan Anderson. He seems to do a pretty good job in those cars. So cool.
Yeah, he does well. You know, you see him in the conversation more often than not. So, I mean, great for him. I mean, I think Fast Pasta did a fantastic job. I was kind of hoping they'd bring him back. In the car
I think
game.
he's more deserving, yeah.
I agree with that
But
as well.
Parker's got that Funkaway or whatever that sponsor is. So it seems like they're bringing some demolines behind it. So.
Yeah, could be. All right. Now for the big news.
Wait, which big news are we getting into first? The big news, the closing, or the... We have two things to rant about.
But
We have the big news of something closing, and then we have the other news of someone still not getting granted something.
we're not talking about that.
We're not?
No.
You don't even want to touch on it at all?
No.
You want to talk about the...
Kyle Larson still doesn't have a waiver. He's going to get a waiver. I don't want to talk
You
about
don't-
it
you don't
anymore.
even wanna
I'm
hear-
so fucking sick of
Probably
it.
because you were listening to Sirius all day today.
I've everywhere you go, is he going to get a waiver? Yes, he's going to get a waiver.
Do you think NASCAR's giving him the fucking...
They're making him sweat at most, but they've
Yeah.
only had the waiver in hand for like 4 days.
Yeah.
So like they submitted the waiver on what, Wednesday?
Yeah. But I love...
And then they're already at like the officials and stuff are already at the track by Friday.
Yeah, I
mean, they've already put him back on the website because he was off the playoff list on the website.
I think he's still off.
No, the scoring still has zero playoff
Yeah, but
points.
he's back in the playoffs, but he has 0 playoff points. So it shows him back in second place, but 0 playoff points.
Oh.
Before, he wasn't even in the top 16 because he was like knocked out or didn't qualify to get points because he was a full time.
Have you heard the thing that people are speculating? It's because the charter deal negotiations are going bad. So this is NASCAR being like, "Oh, you want to play that game? All right, we'll make you sweat."
Yeah, but they're not going to play that game with Hendrick Motorsports. They'll play that game with Trackhouse or Colleague or one of the newer teams, but they're not going to play that game with Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports has way too much swing in the sport for NASCAR to like tempt them with something
It's
like
just
this.
this is so fucking stupid.
I'm
honestly-
so sick of listening.
I hope,
can't
I hope
believe
they
we're
don't
still-
give him a waiver. This is what I said on Discord. If they don't give him a waiver, pull all sponsorship off that car, put some fucking random driver in it, and then go let Kyle Larson do any dirt race he wants to do and win everything in the world and just be like, see,
This
you
would
don't
be-
want to give us the time of day. We're not going to give you the time.
I think if they don't give him the waiver, this will be a bigger PR disaster than putting Jeff Gordon in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
It's not. It's not.
Could.
They are not that dumb.
I said it in Discord last night. NASCAR, when it comes to shooting themselves in the foot, they're a Marine sniper.
They will shoot themselves in the face with this one.
And that's why I'm.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
NASCAR gives waivers for drivers being suspended by NASCAR, drivers injuring themselves off track doing extracurricular activities. They're now threatening to not give a waiver for a driver who just did more publicity for NASCAR than anybody in the past 10 years.
Did either of you listen to the teardown?
No.
Because Mr. Insufferable was at it again.
That's why I didn't listen to it.
He was,
Yeah,
but he
that's why I would
brought
never
up an
listen to it.
interesting point though, and it's that NASCAR is pissed because the whole time leading up to the Indy 500, it was if weather is a thing, Coke 600, we're gonna go there. Which I don't remember them saying that, but according to him, they did. And then when push comes to shove,
Anything I remember them saying is Kyle has every intention of getting to the 600.
yeah. And then he's basically like that NASCAR's pissed because they basically lied and switched their stance and stayed at the 500. To me, which I say he still made an effort to get to the 600. Yes, he didn't start it, but he was going to get in that race. But you cancel it.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm so sick of talking about it.
No, I know you are, but I have to make you talk about the things you're sick of talking about because it's news.
It's not news. There's no news. There's nothing to talk about. They don't have the waiver yet. That's it.
It's still something to talk
They
about.
submitted the waiver on Wednesday. NASCAR is on the way to Gateway by probably Thursday.
Yeah,
If not, they're already there.
If not very early Friday. If not, they're already there. They're not going to review it over the race weekend. So basically, today is really the first day they could even look at it.
I know. I'm just.
It's like everyone's flipping the fuck out. They're going to get a waiver. They're going to issue a waiver. They're not going to not issue the greatest driver that our generation has probably ever seen.
I can't wait.
A
for
waiver.
them. I cannot wait for next week when they don't give them the waiver and you're like, crap.
I'll be shocked, and then we'll have something to talk about.
I just hope if NASCAR is dumb enough to not give them a waiver, that Hendrick just middle finger in the air and just blatantly just like start and parks that car or something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
I would be down 100%.
Like that is
I'd hate it. I would absolutely
top.
hate it.
I'd say
I would love that.
the number
As
one
a Larson fan, I would hate it.
the number one most popular car in the sport, if not top 3, driver, car, fame of whatever. It's one of the most iconic numbers in the sport. It's one of the most popular drivers in the sport.
He's a champion of the sport.
It's the biggest team in the sport. It's the most talked about driver in the sport. If NASCAR doesn't give him a waiver, I want them to just say fuck NASCAR and just do the bare minimum. I want that car to show up unsponsored.
Yeah, I want that car to
Put
show
Larson in the 48, unsponsored. Get the 48 car in the playoffs, because then all the cars will be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just start taking up all the
'Cause that's-
space.
you know
Well,
that,
if
right?
Larson doesn't have a waiver and he wins after this, does the 5 now lock it up? The 5's already in.
the 5
the
car
5
is in the playoffs.
The waiver does not affect the owner's points. It only affects driver's points. So that's why they won't do that, because that's how they make their money. We've talked about it many times. The owner's points is what really matters. So that's unfortunately why they won't throw the middle fingers in the air and go unsponsored.
So-
because he could, in theory, he will be in the owner's playoffs no matter what the waiver situation is.
Yeah.
So he could win the owners. And this, I forget, I think it was Gluck was saying this earlier, where he was like, literally, you have all of these, we don't know the actual number, but theoretically, let's say we got a bunch of fans from Netflix. Now we have to explain. Imagine going into the playoffs, they don't give him the waiver. Now we have to explain that Kyle Larson has won the Owners' Championship and have to explain to everybody what the hell that means, even though he's not in the Drivers' Championship, and why he can't do that one, but he can do this one and that.
Well, this is going to be also.
I just hate the what ifs.
Oh,
like
I know. I'm just.
explaining why.
I know you hate what ifs, but
What if, hypothetically, what if potentially this and that might... No. Just wait till it happens.
haven't we been what ifing the Stuart Haas news you're about to talk about for like 3 years?
Yeah, but I
So-
called it all correctly.
Yeah. Oh, so it's only cool when you call it correctly.
None of this is going to happen.
What if it does?
Yeah, but what if we call it correctly?
Yeah. What if
No
I call
way.
it correctly?
Not going to happen.
I also think it's going to be funny that what was the most talked about thing 2 years ago? Ross Chastain doing the wall ride. Now it's illegal,
Yep.
but they still talk about it.
Still
Then
promote
a couple
the shit
weeks
out of
ago,
it.
we got the fight between Stenhouse and Kyle Busch. Talked about and fined. Now, the number one talking thing of the past month, if not year and a half, has been Kyle Larson doing the double. It was all over the broadcast. Countdown to Kyle. He's coming back to the track his flight. And then they're going to, once again, make something that they can't help but talk about, like frowned upon, penalize them for.
You know, did you listen to Harvick's podcast when he talked about the
I've
fines
not
and
listened
stuff?
to a single episode. No.
He actually put it really, really well. He's like, NASCAR has 2 things: the corporate side and then the actual racing. They have to please everyone on the corporate side, and then slap on the back of the hand. You can't do that. It's okay. Just keep doing it.
Exactly.
He had a separate fund he was talking
Yeah,
about.
I did see the clip. Yeah.
Has a separate fund that they set up for fines, and if they needed something to talk about, you just go out there and do something dumb. They like did it on purpose, basically. So like
Kevin would back in the day.
yeah, like go out and raise hell to get people talking and whatever, and he had a fine fund essentially.
Well, it's-
So like NASCAR, you have to do something about it. You're going to get all this crazy publicity. Oh, this is wild, and people love it, and everyone's talking about it, goes crazy on social media. But they got to be like, oh, we're the sanctioning body. You
Yeah.
can't do that, and shake
Wink-
the finger
wink,
at
wink,
you.
nudge, nudge when the
Yeah.
cameras
So
aren't
there's
on.
a lot of that you have
Yeah.
to keep in mind, too. It's like, we're going to promote the living fuck out of it. Can't do that. That's unsafe.
It's the same as the,
It's
Sten-
like
it's the
when-
Stenhouse Bush thing we were
When
just
the
talking
wall
about.
ride thing came out, and when Ross Chastain was like, my brain was like scrambled. They pulled like the G-force data, and it was like genuinely unsafe levels of G's. Like, we can't let people do that, so we're gonna have to outlaw it. We're not gonna do anything about it to you, but we're gonna have to outlaw it later on.
Yeah.
It's one of those like they have to toe that line between corporate America, making sure people aren't being absolute psychopaths, but also wanting people to still be psychopaths because it's entertaining,
Yeah.
and that's the sport that we love. So they have to toe that line awkwardly.
Yeah.
And Harvick did a very good job. It's a good listen.
Saying all this, he should and will probably get the waiver, but it's just the more time goes on.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for like 2 weeks now.
Well, it's only a
But-
week. More
yeah.
it was last week.
Oh yeah, fair.
It's only been a week.
Feels like a month.
It does. It feels like.
But
weeks.
everyone's been talking about it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! They didn't submit the waiver for 2 more days, 3 more days after what happened.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
It was like 4 o'clock on Wednesday.
it was like
or
late
something.
Wednesday. Yeah.
They probably haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
So like, whatever. We'll
Kevin,
see.
Kevin, stop being a degenerate.
Yeah.
No, we're not adding race pick points to everything in the freaking podcast.
Stop being a degenerate.
Yeah.
Relum.
Anyway. All right. Now the big one.
Yep.
Stewart Haas Racing had a meeting with their employees at the end of the day on Monday last week.
Literally made you work
Tuesday.
all day. Oh, made you work all day Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah, it was what, 4 o'clock?
It was literally because I remember we were all sitting there on Twitter at like 4 o'clock. Refresh.
Oh, I started doing that at like noon.
We were all waiting for any kind of frontline report because you know that somebody in that meeting is texting somebody, and we've talked about it on here before, that news in NASCAR spreads like an absolute wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the whole Reddick Denny thing, and they were like trying to beat it back to the shop. Like,
yeah. So Stewart Haas met with their employees and announced to their employees that they will effectively be closing the doors at the end of this season. All of it.
I mean, the rumors, we've been talking about it for weeks now, of selling 2 charters, just going to the Xfinity team, closing up shop completely. It could have been any of those things.
Norm's hopes of Haas remaining dashed.
And when it came out that it was just a complete, like,
we're done.
We're done, washing our hands of it. We're all done.
Yeah.
At the end, we're going to finish the year out, and then we're all done.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was shocked, but I was like, I didn't expect that.
That's exactly what I expected. Norm was holding out to hope that they would do something.
I thought it'd be 2 charters.
And I thought it was done, but it still shocked me. Even though like that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, but I didn't think I was going to be like at all in the wheelhouse.
We heard rumors months ago at this point. I feel like that front row was going to like consume everything and take their building.
Yeah.
And everything that comes along with it.
Yeah.
And then they came out and they pretty much just said in their announcement, yeah, Stewart Haas Racing's done. We're ceasing operations.
Yeah.
That was it. There was barely a quote from Tony Stewart. There wasn't a quote from Gene Haas.
That was a joint statement from the two of them.
It wasn't like we haven't got like official word of what either of them, their reason for closing yet. We just got we're closing.
No, I mean their
mean?
joint statement was there. I mean
but
the
it was
joint
just like
statement,
we're closing our doors. But
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean that Gene Haas isn't doing something else. Tony Stewart isn't doing something else. Because obviously the rumors just explode the second something like this happens. Like, oh, it's because Tony Stewart's going to go partner up with Dale Jr. and start that team.
I think it 100% does mean that they're not doing something else because they said it.
Yeah. I don't know if either of you listened to.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'll just read this. But the commitment needed to extract maximum performance while providing sustainability is incredibly demanding, and we've reached a point in our respective personal and business lives where it's time to pass the torch. Effectively saying neither of them have the drive to do it anymore.
Well, again, this could have been a show, but so I listened to a little bit of Stack of Pennies on the way down here, and Flores, who has a connection to Stewart Haas, he worked there when Tony won one of his championships. He worked there for like 3 or 4 years. He was talking about how apparently Tony was in the meeting basically like, I don't have the money to run this myself. And Gluck was talking about how Gene Haas is one of those, eccentric billionaires that like they do something and then when they get bored, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So this goes against everything we've been talking about for months, years, that Tony doesn't give a fuck. But in that meeting, it sounded like Tony kind of gave a fuck, and Gene Haas was like, I don't want to do this anymore. See ya. Like,
yeah.
And that was, and I think
what
Ryan.
was Gene in this meeting?
Probably not. Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was there. They were both there.
Was he there? I haven't heard anything about Gene.
I think it was Ryan.
I heard that they were both there.
They were both there.
I think Ryan said it. I don't remember. Yeah, Ryan was talking about it on Sack and Pennies, that you got to realize that Tony didn't have, when he first went there and it became Stewart Haas Racing, he didn't really have a ton of money into it. He probably did a little bit, but the whole thing was Haas was struggling and they went and got Tony Stewart, a big name championship caliber driver.
Right. He brought Chevy.
Well, and how did they do that? They gave him a stake in the company.
Right.
So this has always been Gene Haas's plaything. Obviously, as it's grown, Tony has probably put money into it, like such stuff like that.
Right.
And what it sounded like, again, this is all like fucking third hand, fourth hand by this point, but it sounded like when Tony said that, like, I can't afford to run this place by myself. It sounds like he, maybe not a ton of interest, but like if the interest was there, he would keep the doors open. But Gene Haas is like, yeah, I'm going to go continue doing F1 and other billionaire
I'm going to go
things.
suck at that too.
Yeah, I'm going to go continue doing other billionaire things. I'm done with this NASCAR
I'm
thing.
going to
See
go
you
continue
later.
finishing last in Formula One.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know.
We'll never know though. Until one of them writes a book We'll never know.
And, obviously people are talking about the leadership over there, and, we don't work there. We don't know. So we can only speculate at, what the leadership was like. But from what we're hearing from like Harvick lighting them apart,
Harvick has been on a scorched earth tour.
He does not care anymore.
Don't give a fuck.
He's got no ties to anyone. When he said forever to forward to for sale in 6 months.
That hit hard.
Yeah.
That hit when he said that. I was like, God damn, he's right.
Right. Harvick kind of like goes back and forth, though, because remember when he did the All-Star race, he's like, it's different having the owner contact you twice in 2 weeks. And then he says on his podcast that, I was always in communication with Gene and Tony. It's like, which one was it, Tony? Or Kevin? Like, he made it sound like they never talked to him, and then he was like, every conversation or every time we talk, and I was always on good terms with him and this and that, and it's like everything was going good, and then obviously it falls off.
From what it sounds like, if you listen to that whole episode, it sounds like him and Rodney kind of like held that ship up.
Yeah.
And the rest were kind of associates.
Well, it was
and they didn't.
Zippy was like pretty much the
but that's
GM of that
it sounds
company.
like they were like 4 individual race teams,
and we talked
didn't
about
work as a team.
We talked about that last week, and again, everything I've listened to today from other places has kind of said the same thing. That once the pillar of Kevin Harvick, Rodney Childers, and Bush Beard disappeared, there was nothing left to hold that team up. And then you even factor in, I know the performance wasn't there, but you factor in that Bacon money when Almirola leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about it last year when it all happened. That is a massive, massive loss.
Yeah.
Monetarily.
In my opinion, I've talked to a couple of people recently. I forget who I was talking to about this, but like
Kevin?
No.
That's not what they talk
I forget
about.
who I was talking to, but it's obviously Tony and Gene are the owners. They're supposed to put people in place. Like you've said, it's not their responsibility to run the show. They put people in place to do that. Well, they didn't. Clearly, it's their fault. If the team was run like shit, if the teams weren't communicating with each other, helping each other up to make one team, a rising tide lifts all ships kind of thing, it's their fault.
It's also not the first time we've seen this with big teams. All the stories of Hendrick back in the junior day, or even before junior, it was like the 5 and the 24 were in this shop, and the what were the cars? The other.
I got
other
more
2.
thoughts on this.
I'm just saying it's happened before.
Yeah, it's ultimately their fault.
Yes.
No matter how you want to slice it. Oh, they were supposed to have people to do that. And when Tony came out last year on that defense, he's like, I think the fans need to understand that I'm not the one that builds the car. Remember that?
Yep.
That's a bad look.
Not the look.
It is 1,000% your fault because your name's on the fucking building.
Yeah.
It says Stewart Haas Racing. If the Stewart Haas Racing sucks, Stewart's the first person you should probably ask about it.
Yeah.
And not having contingency plans in place for when Kevin ultimately retires, not having the next person in line, if you will, not the next sponsorship deals. If one guy leaves and you hemorrhage 6 massive sponsors, you had nothing in place for it.
Yeah.
You didn't have the next person. You were just leaning on the 4 team to hold you up, and the 4 team leaves, you completely fall the fuck apart, and the place closes 6 months later.
Yeah.
It's your own fault. It sucks. They had everything they need to, they were a Ford partner. That fell apart. All these massive sponsors that they had, they all disappeared.
That made me laugh this weekend every time they talked to one of the drivers or somebody in Stewart Haas, and they're like, well, not being a partner with Ford anymore has really hurt us. And it's like, whose fault is that?
Tony's.
It's
Tony's fault. That's not Gene's job.
Right. That all started in 2020.
Yeah.
When Ford said no to Kyle Larson.
I feel like that's when he stopped giving a shit.
That relationship
Yes, I agree.
took a dive. Obviously,
I think that's when Tony threw his hands
Tony
up.
had a falling out with I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Tony had a falling out with Chevy, and that's when they jumped ship and went to Ford. Now, Tony has a falling out with Ford.
You're running out of places to go,
and there's
Tony.
nowhere to jump ship to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He left JGR when they went to Toyotas. He goes, I don't want to race a Toyota. So he brought Chevy with him to Stewart Haas.
I forgot about that. So so he pissed off Toyota even before that.
I don't know if that was intentional, but I think it was
Probably.
like Tony's like, I'm taking my Chevy relationship that I built at JGR, and I'm going to bring that to Stewart Haas and start my own team. And then they lost Chevy. They went to Ford. And like I said before, I think Stewart Haas has always been like the number 1 team suspected in bringing a new manufacturer into the sport. And I just think that never happened. Tony's probably butthurt about that as well. And there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
Can he go
He
back
burned
to
all of his
Chevy?
bridges.
No, we're going to be fucking 5th in line at Chevy if we go back
Yeah.
to Chevy.
Yeah.
He burned all his bridges with the manufacturers, and all his sponsors left because Kevin left, and he had nowhere to go.
Right.
It
Well,
folded.
he's probably been holding on to hope for the past 4 years that the sport's going to bring in a new manufacturer. I mean, we saw it with Richard Petty. They got a reinvigoration of life when Dodge came into the sport.
Yeah.
Like that woke that team back up.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart was looking for, I'm assuming, looking for that because it's just clearly his relationship with Ford has dive bombed, and he needed somebody else to back him. And obviously, he has the new alliance with Dodge and drag racing and stuff like that. NASCAR seems, whether it's Dodge or NASCAR, decided that's
Sounds
not
like
gonna
Dodge
happen.
backed out of that.
Yeah, but it could just be that we're hearing NASCAR's side of that, where NASCAR's like, yeah, Dodge just not interested anymore. It could be Dodge was interested and NASCAR just never met any of their demands.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I think Tony started losing interest. Obviously, Gene has more money than God. Seems like he loves NASCAR. Obviously, he loves F1 as well. Now there's rumors of health issues with him, so that could come into play with this as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's getting older.
I assume Gene was sticking around for the long run. Obviously, like I mentioned before, his long-standing relationship with Cole Custer and Cole Custer's dad, he's been funding that kid since the start.
Yep.
And that seems like a relationship that was never going to end, and now that seemingly is ending. Who knows? Haas could still sponsor him, but not own him.
Yeah.
Who knows where that goes? But it's just right now we haven't got enough information from either of them. We just got a single press release and rumors of what happened in the shop. Tony Stewart saying that, I can't afford to run this team on my own. That's mom and dad got a divorce, and mom saying dad's the bad guy, and dad saying mom's the bad guy.
It's always dad.
Right. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
who's
usually dad.
Gene was the daddy in that situation, we're assuming?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd say Gene's dad.
I would. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely
Tony's the Funkle.
he had the money.
Funkle Tony, yeah. True.
Whether he wore the pants or not. we
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, obviously we'll hear a lot more about this as the season goes on. I mean, obviously I hate it just for the people that work there. You know, you got 300 easily plus people that are looking for jobs.
I was looking at that today, or I forget who, a couple places again. I was listening. Everyone was talking about this today. All the weekly podcasts like us, and I want to know where this is in September, because I wonder how people's contracts, if they're even contracts, whatever, are set up. I mean, we could get to September, October, and enough people could have left.
No, if they're under contract, they can hold them to it. And they have to,
but
because
we
they're
don't
not going
know.
to
We
get
don't
cars.
know.
Whoa,
Who-
whoa.
We don't know who's under.
Don't talk over us,
Yeah,
Kyle.
fuck you, Kyle. We don't know who's under contract or who's just an employee, or like they may not have. I'm just saying, if it's not set up, which, like you just said, nobody fucking set up a contingency plan. So if there's no contracts or anything, imagine people. They're going to start looking for jobs now for next year.
Most people that work for race teams are under contract.
Oh, I didn't know you were an expert. That's cool.
Okay. More than you are. But go on.
Bro, you work for a real estate company.
Okay.
Shut the fuck
Anyway. All right, we'll move on.
I'm just trying to annoy Kyle.
You're doing a good job.
That's what I'm here for.
So we'll find out more as weeks go on, obviously, and as the season goes on.
We found out more damn near before the body was even cold.
Yep. That's where I was going next. Front Row Motorsports announced shortly after, before the dust even settled, that they will be expanding to a 3-car team in 2025.
Rigor hadn't even set in yet.
No, not at all.
I mean, it was it the same day or was it the next day?
It was minutes after.
Was it? I think it was the same afternoon.
It was the same afternoon.
Yeah, it was the same afternoon.
2, if not 3 of the charters were already called for before the
Where's the other one?
blood even left the skin. Didn't they say 2311?
No, that's a rumor.
No, the only thing that's confirmed right now is Front Row Motorsports is expanding to a 3-car team. They didn't even say that it was coming from Stuart Haas that they bought a charter. I mean, obviously, that's the only place it could be coming from. Obviously, well, I take that back. It could be anything. Who the hell knows? But all signs point to it's coming from Stuart Haas. The rest is just rumors. Some people are talking about 2311, Trackhouse. No one's talking about the 4th one. It's all rumor at this point, so we'll see where they go.
It's going to be fun.
Good news for Ford that Front Row Motorsports gets at least one of them, because you have to keep in mind that Ford is losing 4 cars.
Well, we were talking about this.
At least that's 3.
Yeah, we were talking about that that night in Discord. You got to think front row now has 2 open seats. And you got 4 drivers from Stewart Haas that have no seats.
Yep.
Among all the other people that don't have seats.
Yeah.
This is going to be, it was like a month or 2 ago, somebody said something about silly season's going to be wild this year. Yeah, you think?
Yeah. The good thing, a lot of people, I mean, obviously, we hate it for all the people that just lost their jobs.
100%.
Right?
It's awful.
But you also have to keep in mind it's the same number of cars next year.
Yes.
They're just moving. So Chris Rice said it really well on Door Bumper Clear, if you listened last week, that there's kind of a shortage of good help, if you will, in NASCAR.
Rodney said the same thing I saw an interview with him somewhere. Oh, it was the Dale Jr. Download, the Thursday show.
Yes.
Rodney was on there, and he basically said the same thing, that like they struggle to find people.
Was it Rodney that was saying that they're basically training some people?
Yes.
Or was it one of the 2 of them?
I think it
that
was,
they'll basically train someone that's willing to do it. I mean, it's a taxing job. You're traveling every week.
Yep.
You're away from your family a lot. It's a lot. So finding people willing to do that is difficult these days. So the good news is it's going to be the same size field next year, unless they expand. So those people
will find a home. Hopefully.
Potentially will have a place to go.
It's not like the old days. It's not like the old days. This is thankful to the charter system.
Yeah.
Where the old days, if a team shut down, half the time it was like, well, there goes that
See you
team.
later.
There goes that. Oh, there goes that car.
Yeah.
But now, because of the charter system, you can be assured that there will be 4 other vehicles next year
that are
teams. Going to need the people to run them. Oh, look, there's all these people that don't have a team anymore. Let's hire them. So I think it'll be a good. I like you said, terrible for them right now. What they must be going through with their families, trying to, holy shit, where do I go? I mean, you've got guys. Flores was talking about some of the guys he knows over there, and they've been there since the beginning. They've been there 20 plus years, and now you got to start all over again.
Yeah, you look at like the Chip Ganassi thing when Trackhouse bought them. They took the vast majority of those employees. I mean, if you're on like a performance plan and you're in trouble, you're probably getting fired.
Yeah,
but you probably did that to yourself. But if someone's like, "Oh, that guy's really good. He's our tire guy or whatever," like, "Well, we'll take him." And it's just a good place for a team that buys that charter to kind of have a foundation.
It's like a farm system.
Like you buy the charter, I'll take all of the employees that go with it, see how good they are, preseason, off season, and then make changes as you need to. At least you have some form of foundation to work.
And that's why I was bringing up, how far does that go? Does front row get? I mean, God, imagine a Noah Berry Gilliland front row motorsports next year.
Yeah,
because the strong rumor is Briscoe's going to the 21 car. That's been damn near confirmed.
Yeah, that's
at this
the
point.
Strongest rumor ever.
That's the strongest rumor. As much as we love him, Priest is the odd man out because he has no money. He's fucked. I feel terrible for Priest because he finally got his second chance in Cup. He's been better than the first time, I think. And then to have this happen and he's got no leg to stand on. He's in trouble. But I think Noah and Barry,
I think out of the 6 drivers at Stewart Haas Racing that just lost their jobs, Priest is most likely not going to be in the Cup Series.
You've got Custer could go somewhere. Herbst. Is Herbst SHR?
Herbst is SHR.
Herb,
he's the one that rumor has it. He's got a bunch of money behind him to buy a potential charter.
Well, that's his dad's money.
So Herbst could literally...
he's got tons of monster money.
Herbst could literally go to any team in the Cup Series. Mm-hmm. Any team that doesn't currently have 4 cars, Herbst could go to that team.
He could buy his way into the collar ride.
A free charter with him. And potentially good monster money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Herbst is, the most desirable guy in NASCAR right now because he's bringing $50 million with him.
It's true.
Yeah.
Cole Custer, your previous Xfinity champion, I'm sure Ford wants to hold on to him. He was in talks to go to front row before all of this news broke out. Who knows now? They might just prefer to pick up a pre-existing Cup guy. But I'm honestly the most curious about all of this is the first time since, 2020 that we've had several charters go up for sale at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know
what's that going to do to charter prices.
I think
these
simple
drop?
supply and demand, basic economics. It's going to price down.
Right, but it's in the past few years, it's been like one charter goes up, and now who's
$40
willing to pay $40 million for it?
Yeah, it's a game of supply and demand. You have one of them. It's a bidding war. Who's going to pay $50 million? You got 4 of them. I would guess 25 to 30.
I've heard 20 to 30. That's what I've heard.
So I've seen multiple posts on Twitter. Brad Keselowski, Kelly Earnhardt, I think have both said $30 million.
And they were both like, we don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't think they go for that. I think realistically they're going to drop significantly.
Man, Carteropoli dropping Bob bombs in here. So Our listener, Michael Carteropoli, for those not in the YouTube chat, was at Gateway yesterday and went to the tweet up and got a lot of information out of one, Bob Pockris.
The GOAT.
So he says in the chat right now, when I talked to Bob yesterday, he said that Haas Automation is going to follow Custer to FRM and sponsor his car.
Yeah, exactly what Norman
I
said.
can see that. I mean, I could see that. I could see Noah going there with all of his. I mean, he's got, think of all the sponsors he's got that would follow him, rewind 6 months ago, we were like, who's going to sponsor Noah? Oh, that worked out well for him.
And he's had a flood of sponsors joining
Yeah.
in the past couple of weeks.
And
So
Josh has a few that will follow him. I mean, I know that Harrison's one came with him.
I think the biggest thing for Josh is not the sponsor money. It's the fact that Rodney seemingly is sticking to him.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And you got to think of Rodney. If Riley Herbst is the most desirable driver, Rodney Childers is the most desirable crew chief.
100%.
Because guess what he's going to do? He's going to look at all 4 of those Stewart Haas teams, and he's going to build a mega team out of every employee in that shop.
He knows them all.
Because he knows every single one of them. And he will go to 2311, to Front Row, to RFK, wherever he ends up if he goes with Josh. And he's going to go, these are the 60 guys you want to hire with me.
Yep.
yeah.
And he's going to come fully loaded to whatever team he goes
The most desirable free agent right now is Rodney.
Yeah.
I agree.
By far.
I agree.
Which I'm
Because
also
Rodney will elevate your entire team.
I'm also wondering if that wasn't another thing that affected Stewart Haas. You know, Greg Zippadelli is like their head engineer shop.
He's the
guru
Knaus guy.
right?
There.
And look at Hendrick. Who runs Hendrick? It's not Rick Hendrick. It's not Jeff Gordon. They run the office stuff in the shop. It's Chad Knaus and Greg Ives.
Yep.
2 of their best crew chiefs they've had in the past 15 years run.
2 of the
that
best
shop.
of all time.
2 of the best of all time.
I just said 15 years because
Yeah.
Ray Everham left. If
True.
Ray Everham stayed,
That's fair.
Fair.
you now have the second and third.
Okay, the
best crew
3 greatest crew
Yeah.
chiefs possibly
Yeah.
ever.
I'm wondering if Stewart Haas years ago wanted Rodney to step up to a more overseeing job, and he
Management
chose
role.
to stay on a car, and they would have much preferred, like, hey, watch all 4 of these teams. Don't just focus on one. And I wonder if that's kind of something that may have affected them as
Could
well.
have.
It probably would have
Because
helped him.
Rodney, he's older. His kids are in their teens. Most people that age want to stay at the shop, stay close to home, don't want to travel every weekend.
Yep.
And Rodney
Isn't that why
fucking
Greg
loves
Ives
it.
got off the box? Because he wanted
Yeah.
to be with his kids.
That's why
Yeah.
Travel.
every
Yeah.
crew
He didn't
chief
want to
gets
travel
off
anymore.
the box.
Yeah.
That's every single crew chief that changes to an office job is for that reason.
Yep.
Yeah. It's taxing.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we were
100%.
saying about finding good people to work
We do
for
it
these teams.
the last 2 years. We've done it for 2 weeks, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Never mind
36. Yeah.
36 of them with no off weeks.
Yeah.
Speaking of being taxed, side note, is it a fucking 1,000 degrees in here?
It is very hot. Here.
Okay, I thought it was me just because I was in the sun all day yesterday, but I am like melting right now.
I also was too, so I'm decently cooked, but it's hot in here.
I feel like I'm on the sun right now and I want to die. Our climate control in here, for those new listeners, is not well.
It's not
you
great.
You will hear us complaining about how cold it is in the winter and how hot it is in the summer. It feels like
I wonder if we close that door if it gets any better.
no, it'll probably get hotter.
It'll definitely get worse. So yeah, well, big news week. We'll see how things
This
shake
is-
out, but
this
not
is-
the news we expected, not the news we wanted.
This is
if I can put it that way.
far from over because now we have to see where the
Chips
family
fall.
tree goes from here, and there is a lot of chips to fall, and
Yeah.
that's. I mean, like I think I was telling Kyle this. I don't know if this was last week or if this was off air. I don't remember. What have we had the last couple of years? Oh, last year it was where's Kyle, or not last year, 2 years ago, it was where's Kyle Busch going to go? Then it was where's Brad Keselowski going to go? Like every year we have that one big thing. This is all of that and more.
Harvick's retirement, Almirola's retirement.
Yeah.
Like most of those things were expected. This, although kind of expected and talked about for a while, like no one's really prepared for an entire organization, the 3rd most successful organization in the past 20 years
To just
fold.
Yep.
Not we're backing it down, we're cutting it in half. No, we're just done.
I honestly thought it was going to be we're selling 2 off. We're going to cut back, chill out a little bit, but we're still going to stay in the sport.
I was hoping that Norm was right, that it was going to be like Gene still fun stuff.
Yeah.
Tony leaves and they
Yeah.
become like, Haas
Yeah, I
NASCAR.
thought-
and
yeah.
I thought best case scenario was going to be like Front Row Haas Racing.
yeah, something
And
like
I
that, like a
thought-
merger, and
But
they
the
keep the
merger and
Xfinity
Tony
program.
steps aside, yeah.
That's what I thought. And then when
Their Xfinity program's pretty damn good.
it's one of the
Like,
top teams.
Those
yeah.
2 cars run really well.
And it's getting better with age. Like
Yeah.
that team, the
Herbst was
longer-
up front
the
a
longer they
lot
raced-
this
I mean,
weekend.
Custer started off slow last year, but that was a struggling Xfinity program before him.
Yeah.
They'd always get like one driver who did well, but they had Herbst solo for like 2 years, and he was not doing hot. And they got off to a slow start. And this
And
year,
now look at them both.
they're top 5 every weekend.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I 100% give Custer. I mean, I give credit to the team for expanding, obviously. That obviously helps because you're getting more data from both cars, but like Custer absolutely elevated that program, and now they're both really good.
Yep.
And now it's all for nothing.
And also, you got to think about these teams like Trackhouse, Legacy / Toyota with Corey Heim. These teams that are like putting all their chips into these truck drivers. And now, a year and a half later, a Cup team folds, and now there's a fucking landslide of Cup eligible drivers that they're just like, shit, we just spent all that money freaking sending Zane Smith way up to the top when we could have fucking waited a year. We could have scooped up Josh Berry or Noah Gregson.
Yeah, we could have got Noah Gregson for cheap.
Somebody who's already ready. And then Toyota's all in on Corey Heim, which Corey Heim's a great driver, but I'm afraid he's going to be Zane Smith. They're going to ship him right up to Cup, and it's going to be like, well, we just spent a lot of money to bring this kid up here, and he's not ready.
And he's running 39th.
Meanwhile, there are 6 drivers who just potentially lost their job that could do better in that car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's crazy right now, and I mean, the rumors are everywhere.
I think the solids, Briscoe, no problem.
I think he's going to the 20.
I think he's overrated, but I don't think he's going to have a problem getting a car.
No.
I'm just curious if Briscoe is going to keep Mahindra without Tony Stewart.
Probably.
Because that's his biggest sponsor. But like I've said before, that deal is because of Tony Stewart. Like I've said, Tony Stewart is in every commercial. Tony Stewart's on every freaking billboard for that company. Tony Stewart leaves, does Chase Briscoe keep that sponsor?
That could be like we've talked about, the kind of like B2B deals, like with Hellman's, how they're like, all right, yeah, we'll sponsor your car. Junior, you're running on 1 race a year for us.
That's
though.
literally every sponsor at Junior Motorsports.
Yeah. And now you're right. Mahindra's like, okay, yeah, we'll sponsor the 14 car, but Tony, you're going to be in a bunch of commercials for us.
I'm sure Tony would still do that for him.
Probably. He seems to be really connected to Chase. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I
connected
think
he
he will
is.
take it with him. I think it's pretty much guaranteed that he's going to the 21 Wood Brothers car, which I think is a great spot for him.
Yeah.
It's basically the satellite Penske team, if anyone doesn't know. Do I think he's overrated? Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Larson
got 1 win.
Obviously, he's pissed he's not getting this waiver. Kyle Larson's going to quit after this year, and Harrison Burton to the 5 HMS.
Do you want to go outside and get beaten because I'm about to
That's a done deal, dude.
Briscoe, fine. Noah will be fine. Barry and Priest, I'm not sure.
I think Barry's, like Norm said, Barry's saving grace is that Rodney seems to want to be with him.
Yeah.
Because Rodney's a late model guy. Josh is a late model. I feel like they have a really strong connection. So I think Rodney and him are going to go as a package deal.
Yeah. I think
I'm
Priest is screwed.
Scared for Brian. I'm scared for Priest.
I think Barry's only opportunity is if someone goes, Rodney, we want you, and he says, I'm only coming if you give me 2 years with this kid to prove it.
Yep.
Fine.
I
think people
agree
will.
with
Someone's going to reluctantly take Josh Barry and say, "Fine, we'll give you 2 years."
I honestly see FRM as a landing spot for them. They got 2.
That would
open
be
seats.
a score.
They
for
got
them.
2 open seats. I could see one of those seats being Barry with Childers as his crew chief.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel so strongly about that, but it's just then Ford keeps their Ford driver. You know, Ford's probably going to be pushing to keep as many of these guys on as possible.
They just got to figure out a way to make it more marketable.
I think the thing is, I think with Barry, he is marketable to the right group of people. He is marketable to, you can send him.
They just got to figure that out.
I think you get Barry in a Chevy, and you're good to go.
True.
Because now Junior could jump back onto him.
Yeah, could be.
True.
Imagine, I don't know where they go. Spire buys a 4th charter for $150 million. Who knows? They don't have the room for it. But Junior is tied to both Josh Berry and Rodney Childers. Rodney Childers is one of Junior's oldest friends. They were friends when they were teenagers. They've stayed tight throughout the years. Josh Berry, obviously, has been good friends with Dale Jr. for 20-plus years. You get them in a Chevy, and Junior can now jump on board with them again. I think that would be the best-case scenario for them. I just don't know where they go.
I think Rodney is not Rodney. Well, both of them actually, but I think Josh is, like you said, selling him. His demographic is the local track, short track crowd because he's the late model guy. He did it the way you used to do it. He's not one of the rich kids that has bought a ride.
Yeah, they just got to figure a way to market it.
That's what I mean. You figure out a way to market that. He's the type of guy that you send, Loudon Week. He goes and races a late model at Lee Speedway, or you know what I mean? Like, that's what you got to do. And that would be a way I could see them marketing him.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. That does it for the news. Any other bits you guys want to add, or shall we do some race recaps?
Forrest Sed's racing at Sonoma this week.
Sure is.
17 car, the Hendrick cars
Oh,
one,
it's
right?
the 17? Oh, hell yeah.
Someone in chat said it was the 17. I don't know which.
I remember
it's the
when it
Hendrick
got
car.
announced.
It's not the
but
junior car.
The 17 and the 88 just blur together for me.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I don't think there's anything else there.
All right, so we have a triple header this past weekend.
Wait, the truck race happened?
It did.
Triple header with an asterisk.
Yeah,
Because two of them ran at the same time.
that's fair. We'll just kind of blast through the truck race. The Toyota 200. That was at Gateway along with the Cup race. The Xfinity Series was out in Portland, which put on the best show. No surprise there.
Shocking.
2 hours, 54 minutes to be exact. The truck series was delayed. Ty Majeski and Christian Eckes led the field to green. Bunch of people having issues in that truck race. I don't know if you guys spend much time watching it.
I didn't watch a second of it.
Ben Rhodes was having shifting issues, like I think third or fourth. He lost one of the gears. Crafton was having issues with his motor shutting off, just going down the backstretch.
What do I feel like that's been a problem multiple times on that 88 truck?
I don't know. They've had some weird issues.
Yeah.
But Ty Majeski did win the first stage by like 2 seconds or so. It was a bloodbath. Yeah. Colby Howard ends up bringing out a caution after getting into a wall. No big deal there. But Ty Majeski basically put on a show and swept the 2 stages. Taylor Gray ended up coming to pit road, had brake issues, which we see weirdly a lot at Gateway. Yeah. Good battle towards the end. Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, side-by-side battling. But overall, a fairly clean race. Corey Heim ultimately holds on, beats them to the punch, and takes a check flag. So we'll just move right along. Corey Heim takes check flag, followed by Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Ty Majeski, and Lane Riggs. Your top 5 in the Toyota 200. Now we'll talk about the fun one. With a terrible name, the Pacific Office Automation 147.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Yeah, it's
Couldn't have just made it a round number.
definitely not great, but yeah. Talk about Dinger's rough start to the weekend, huh?
I didn't really watch anything except for the race, so I don't know.
Thanks, guys.
You try to bring us in.
Talk about it, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm having a great time, guys.
Tell
This
us
is great.
all about it.
This is fun.
No, they're stacking trophies over there, dude.
And stacking
Backup cars?
something. Yep. I do like that they went to a backup car. Dinger wrecked in practice for people that don't know, including everyone at the table.
Hello.
Dinger wrecks it in practice, goes to a backup car. Totally different paint scheme.
Oops.
Really?
It was a circle car, and then it came out in a Celsius car. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Are they related? Are those like probably parent, like
No,
similar
Circle's
company?
the water filter company.
Yeah. Oh.
It's probably owned by Matt Collig.
Isn't everything?
Circle, I don't think it is.
No, it's not. I'm joking.
I think we looked that up actually one time.
We did.
Yeah. So, yeah, bad start for Dinger, but no surprise he makes his way up to the field fairly promptly. Sam Mayer and Shane Van Gisbergen led the field to green. Mayer did not make it very far.
Because SVG
he got
had a
punted.
choice to make. Do I wreck Sam Mayer or do I wreck half the field?
I blame Mayer on this.
Really?
Did you watch this?
I saw
First
the
start?
replay of
SVG
it.
took full
Yeah,
credit for it.
he got in too hot.
If
and
you
basically,
so I watched a couple different replays. So Mayer comes down, they're coming down into one, and Mayer 100% tries to cut off SVG. Could SVG have lifted, hit the brakes 100%?
I think he
But
was already in too hot.
Yeah, I think SVG overcooked it, and Sam Mayer was entering that like you would when you're alone,
Yeah.
rather than on a restart where your job is to protect
Yeah.
and block all lanes and get in shallow and just stop their momentum. When you're racing normally, you arc it in and get your best run into the
Yeah.
chicane.
I think he drove that like SVG wasn't there.
He did, but I also
And
think
SVG
SVG got in too hot.
Probably
so
shouldn't have been there.
yeah, that's the thing. I
But
mean,
it's a start. It's not a restart, but it's the start
Yeah.
of the race.
Yeah.
Everyone behind you is going to dive bomb you. You can't arc
you
it
can't
in
do
like you're
that.
alone.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't run
So-
that line.
Yeah, racing deal.
But also,
either
what
way.
would Sam Mayer do? You know what I mean?
Probably the exact same thing. SVG. Did.
We've seen it time and time
Can we
again.
make those bracelets?
WWSMD?
WWSMD. Can we make those
Yeah.
Did you make those bracelets?
What would Sam Mayer do? Get punched in the face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he drops a whole bunch. Riley Herbst inherits the lead for a little bit there. SVG with an awesome crossover on him at like 15, 16, give or take, to take the lead away from him.
Top 4/top 5 were just super fun to watch at the beginning of this race.
Oh, it was awesome.
Because they just freaking all under a blanket, separated themselves from 6 pretty far. And they were just nose to tail, and everyone was just putting their nose in, trying to get a run. SVG eventually does. I think he fell back to 3rd and was able to get himself back up to the lead. It was super fun to watch those guys.
Yeah. I mean, everyone up front had a great runs. Allgaier obviously put on a great show. Riley Herbst was up there putting on a good show for a while. Sheldon Creed in there.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Big shouts to our boy Josh Balicki.
Yeah.
Ran unbelievably well.
JGR, I mean, beginning of the race, nowhere to be seen. Stage 2, all JGR. End of the race.
No, first stage, they finished 3-4.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they caught on by the end of the first stage. But they went from maybe 5th on back to they were everything in the front to they were nowhere to be seen.
Had it not been for a late race restart, I think was the very last one, Balicki got pushed into 1.
Yeah.
He would have finished easy top 10.
Yeah, but
He lost like
he
6
the
spots
lone
and still finished like
survivor.
12th.
Because for a while, there were 4 JGR cars in like the top 5.
Yeah.
It was JGR versus Justin Allgaier for a little bit.
Yeah, there was 4 Toyotas in the top 10 the first stage. But SVG did flip the first stage, came into pit with 3 to go, so he is not in the points getters in the first stage, but Allgaier takes the green and white checkered, followed by Herbst, Creed, Balicki, Kligerman, Sammy Smith, Cole Custer, Ryan Truex, Austin Hill, and Sage Karam, your points getters in the first stage.
Yeah, and in the first stage, Cole Custer was in 3rd or 4th and just locked up the rear tires.
And looped it.
Spun out, fell back to like 14th and drove back up to the 7th or 6th.
Yeah, in the Moo car.
So it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, I kept calling it the Gateway car because it looked like an old Gateway computer.
But they weren't racing at Gateway, so I kept calling it the Moo car.
Yeah, but it was that's how big of a gap the front end separated from the back end. I mean, the dude spun out, had to do the whole dance to the chicane in the turn 1, and still managed to hold on to the top 10.
Yep. Oh. People in the chat are going nuts about the 8.
Oh, yeah, because it's the day that the trademark expires.
Yeah, but we talked about it last week.
We did.
She
We
transferred
talked,
it.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Guys,
Yep.
pay attention. Listen last
Get
week.
it together.
I think the paperwork was filed to transfer it, but I think it's officially done now.
Well, she had to put the paperwork in by today if she was going to keep it, but she already filed the transfer, so it's done, basically. They just have to sign it all off. Anyway, all right. SVG ends up going off track a little bit. Took a little off-roading segment. Got a little hot. Lap like 36 or so.
Yeah, that was a situation like Coda turn 9 where everyone cuts the track right there. So I think there was just dirt everywhere.
Dude, there was one part towards the end of the race where I don't know if they were on a commercial or it was cranking up or whatever. They just had the camera on that for like the whole field going by. And once the first 3 cars went through, you couldn't see anybody. Like it was just a dust cloud.
Yeah.
But that was one of those, like, you have to, like, kind of, like, jump the curb and hook it with your tire to get through that section good, or else you're just in everyone else's dirt.
Ultimately, we have a caution to end the second stage. Matt DiBenedetto ends up stopped on track, giving Justin Allgaier the green and white checker under caution, followed by Sheldon Creed, Josh Balicki, Cole Custer, SVG. Stayed out for the second stage, finishing 5th. Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst, Sage Karam, Sam Mayer, and Ed Jones in the 24. All right. Stage 3 restart. Creed takes the lead away from Mr. Justin Allgaier, and a pretty good battle between those two for a couple laps.
Bro, I think it was the beginning of stage 3. It was like the top 7
Oh, yeah.
were all guys that I've been pulling for years.
Yeah, you said
and
that
I was just like, I don't even know where to look right now. Like, it's like I want Cole Custer to do good because I've been a fan of Cole Custer, but it's like, oh, fuck, Sheldon Creed's up there. I've been a fan of his for years.
Yeah.
And it's like Josh Balicki, dude. He's our boy.
You said it on
shot.
You said it on Discord. You're like, I don't know who I want to win, but I'm happy with any of them.
Yeah. And Justin Allgaier, I mean, I'm not a huge Justin Allgaier fan, but it's like, dude's got shot in the foot so many times this year. I was like, just have a good race, dude.
I would also like to bring this up since we're still talking about the Xfinity race. Mr. Blaka, our upside down friend from New Zealand or from Australia,
Blaka
has brought it up. How good were the old man pit stops? the competitive, non-competitive road crew pit stops were the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Like the crew chiefs were all pitting their cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a weird rule. It's like
So-
you can't be any less than 63
It was
seconds.
63 seconds from entering pit road to leaving pit road, but it was still competitive pit stops. So like years past, we've seen when the Xfinity or the truck guys go out west or where they're not with the cup cars, you'll see non-competitive pit stops where it looks like a late model race or an ARCA race where you've got the friggin' head chef jacking the car up and they're just kind of piecing together crews. Now they've got it as like competitive yet not competitive limited pits. I thought it was cool as hell though to see, like he said, crew chiefs out there changing tires.
Yeah.
The crew chief of the 2-car dive bombing the hood to get it down.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
You can gain and lose spots on pit road, but as long as it's north of 63 seconds.
I liked it. I thought it was better than non-competitive pit stops.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
It's a great middle ground, but just such a bizarre number.
well, they probably timed it, from entering to exit. I think the pit stop had to be like it couldn't be less than like 35 seconds. So they took that and then added the time to get to the pit stall and the time leaving, and then just came up with that number.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
There's always thought behind it. It's still weird.
Yep.
All right, so get towards the end here. We got SVG getting around Creed with 14 to go, trying to run down Allgaier. We get a caution with 13 to go.
Wasn't Allgaier out to like a 3-second lead at that point, and we were watching. The time was
SVG
dropping.
took off like half a second in a lap.
He did. Once he got around Creed, because Creed was holding up that whole line of cars.
Yeah.
SVG kind of moved him, got around him, and he was, 2 corners later, he was already a second ahead of Creed. And I think when the caution came out, he had cut Allgaier's like 3-second lead down to
half.
It was like maybe
2.5.
It was like 2.5, 2.3. So if that race had gone green, we were going to be in for a hell of a chase down.
Yeah.
And then a battle.
But Deegan loses a tire, brings out a caution with 13 to go. We get a restart.
And I thought this was going to be SVG's undoing because he was hemorrhaging on restarts.
Yeah. And especially on this restart.
Yes, this was the bad one.
Bold move by Allgaier. Kind of laid back.
Oh, he did. He
waited real long in that box to fire off. So bad that Sheldon Creed basically shot the gap between the 2 cars because he was going to run over SVG.
They were 3 wide before they even left the restart zone because Creed took off and then was like, shit, I've made a mistake.
Yeah, because Allgaier didn't.
Yeah.
Smart move because he definitely knows SVG's weakness is the restarts.
He needs work on those.
Brilliant move by Allgaier. Almost stacked up the whole fucking field doing it.
Yes.
But brilliant move nonetheless. Ended up getting a caution shortly thereafter.
Creed got the jump in the restart penalty.
Yeah.
So he was out of it now.
Yeah. Which sucks for him because you just got caught. You know?
You fucked up.
It's basically like the football move,
false start.
Yeah.
You're doing the count, the fucking hard count, and somebody jumps off
Gotcha.
sides. Yeah, gotcha.
He just caught the wrong guy.
Yeah.
He was hoping to catch SVG. But we get another caution with 8 to go with like half the freaking field wrecking. The Alpha Prime cars go around. Brandon Jones is windshield deep in the tires.
The best was the first clip of it they show is one Alpha Prime car goes around, and I'm like, oh no, Alpha. Oh god, there's the other one.
I'm coming with you.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, all these cars are spinning out, and then the camera flashes over, and fucking Brandon Jones is the top of the windshield was under the tire. He couldn't get out of the car till they pulled it out.
He's roof flap deep.
He was roof flap deep. Did you see them pull that?
Name banner deep.
Did you see them pull that car out too? They just hooked it. There's like, all right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, and pull.
He put like his window net down and looked like he was planning on climbing out of the car, and he's like, I'm going to let them pull me out so more than half of my window is open.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up to you just to go completely off topic, but he said roof flaps, and it reminded me. The Wendell Scott car that I drove on the media challenge, the vinyls were over the roof flaps, like partially. I was like, oh, good. If we spin this around, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
You're going airborne, brother.
It was so funny.
92 miles an hour.
I was sitting there waiting to get in the car, and it just caught my attention that, you could see the roof flap. Most of it was open, but then, the vinyl kind of went over part of it, and I was like,
it's fine.
That feels like we'll be good. We'll be fine.
It's good. It's fine. If he dies, he dies.
I wish.
It's a gift. You're welcome.
If he goes out doing what he loves.
Yeah. All right, so we get a final restart. The turn call it 3 through 8 SVG and Allgaier battle.
The run,
Unbelievable.
The runs that SVG was getting off of. So you have the tight turn 1, then the left is 2, I'm guessing. And
yeah, it was basically the next 5 turns.
And then you have that little kink off of the second turn. You could watch him. He did it when he got around Creed and when he was chasing Allgaier down. It was like he had a different gear coming. He was just taking those corners so well and getting such a good launch on those. I was like, oh boy, everyone's in trouble because he's doing really good.
I think it's like what really suits him is like the rhythm sections.
Yes, I agree.
Where rather than like Coda or maybe even Sonoma this weekend, where it's kind of like it's more stop and go, the style of track. At a track like Portland or Chicago Road, it's like keeping your momentum is where he's going to do the best.
Yeah, so watching him go through those. I mean, Coda's got rhythm. Coda has the S's.
Yeah.
Which we sat by
but it's
and
a
watched.
lot of like 180-degree turns.
But you're right, though, because thinking back, we did stand by the S's during the Xfinity race. The end of the Xfinity race, we watched from the S's at Coda, and you could see him making time up through there because it was so, like you said, just keeping
carrying the
up.
momentum, I think, is where he's the best. It's restarts, the heavy braking zones, the dive bombs where maybe he's not as naturally prepared for those because that's not the style of racing that he did.
Yeah.
Given I haven't watched very much V8 supercars. I don't know every track to go to, but it seems like where he does the best is tracks where it's all about keeping your momentum up throughout the lap rather than the stop and go style tracks that we've been to a couple times.
Yeah. I think Sonoma, there's flowy parts of Sonoma.
Yeah, Sonoma, I think Watkins Glen, I feel like he should be good. It's just like kind of like Coda is just not really natural for many of these cars.
Weird.
Obviously,
Coda's
he did super well there, but I think he could have done better if it was more open.
Yeah. I think the AC just turned on. I just got like more comfortable.
You just got chills? Are they multiplying?
Oh.
Chills? Are they multiplying?
He just said that.
Oh, damn it.
You suck.
I do.
Like half a second before you
Like
said
he said, they're multiplying, and you got chills? They're multiplying?
Damn it. 2 peas in a pod. Anyway, unbelievable battle between those two.
It was great.
Unfortunately, Mr. Sam Mayer loses a tire with 2 to go. I thought we were going to get a caution.
I was expecting it.
I was like, don't do this to him again.
That's getting.
I got Coda flashbacks.
That was getting all of it though. He slide off the last corner onto the front stretch, and I mean he had that thing sideways and just caught the end of the tire barrier, and that tire was like, nah.
Yep, he was digging as best he could.
Yeah.
And dug a little too hard and dug a hole in that.
I was
tire.
curious to see how he was going to race his teammate.
I thought he was going to try to throw it because his teammate's right there.
Yeah.
Oops, I spun.
Yeah. I was
Oops, blown tire.
I was waiting because not to mention it happened he literally blew a tire at pit entrance, so he has to go all the way around the track.
Yeah.
I was waiting, and again, it's the same. I was waiting for the same thing to happen to Haley. Like the carcass is going to fall off, or something stupid, or he's going to spin out
on purpose. I was expecting on purpose. I wouldn't blame him. It's his teammate.
Yep.
What's the best thing you could give your teammate? Yeah. A restart. But didn't happen. SVG leads the way all the way to the finish line.
Sailed off. I mean, that was...
And the greatest burnout I've ever seen,
I think,
under a fucking commercial.
I'll get to that.
At least it was side by side.
At least it was side by side. But
but the noise.
I know.
Yeah, but it's Fox. The second the leader crosses the line, they cut to commercial.
Yep.
We haven't seen the top 10 finish a stage in 10 years. Since stages came out, we used to remember back in the day when stages first came out, it was a huge deal. They showed every freaking car crossing the line like, oh, this is where so-and-so finished. This is where so-and-so
As soon as the caution flag comes out, they go to commercial.
The second the leader crosses the line, they go to commercial and they fill us in on stage points after.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the fact that we even got a side-by-side to see his fucking sick-ass barn out was a step in a slightly right direction for
I
Fox.
was kind of chuckling to myself because I had flashbacks to last year. Remember on DBC, Freddie was complaining because whoever won at Coda went up to turn 1 and started doing a burnout, and they couldn't see the cars coming off the last quarter. And he's like, hey, we're still racing here.
Yeah.
This isn't the same thing, but SVG made it into turn 2. There's still cars going by him, and he's just hammering hammering donuts. But then it was just unbelievable. He leaves the donut. There's cars still passing him, and he's basically weaving in and out of cars, using them as clipping points as he drifts. Like, not half-assed, like, oh, I'm giving it a little bit of throttle and kicking the tail out. He was linking corners like it was Formula Drift.
Yeah.
He was
Beautifully.
linking corners with smoke boiling off the back tires. He had some speed going too. He wasn't just doing a brake stand sideways. Like
when he came off, I want to say it was like probably turn 4 or so when you get to that straight. I was like, oh, he let off there, and then look, obviously it's side by side, you can't hear anything. And you see the tire marks.
you see the black marks.
He's going like 80.
Yeah.
Boiling.
Yeah,
tire.
Dan was showing us because I'm sure it was one of the apps didn't show the commercial and saved the full screen. And Dan was showing us, he's like, look, he gets here and he's a little shallow, and then he just buries the gas.
Yeah, you can see one point there's a camera, it's a low camera, and it's kind of looking at the back of the car. And he's sideways and he goes into the corner and like there's not a lot of smoke, and then all of a sudden the rear tires just explode in smoke because he has hit the loud pedal and is just getting the fuck after it.
Oh my God.
And Blocka just said in the chat that he's done some drifting in the past. I've seen videos, I think, of him drifting in the V8 supercars too.
Yeah.
After he's won. But like the car control, you've got this live axle 3,000-pound brick with a bunch of horsepower and small ass big sidewall tires.
Yep.
Just unbelievable to watch.
Just
was
let
It
it
was
eat.
sick. I joked on Twitter or Discord after. It's like he comes down the front stretch, blows both the rear tires off the fucking thing. And I was like, just cut to Cole Trickle, change my tires.
Oh, to go again.
SVG, why? Because I'm not done doing my
Like,
burnout.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Larson full track burnouts.
This wins.
This wins. I mean, the fact that he was linking left and right hand corners like artfully, and then he gets out of the car, and what's the first thing he says? Oh, it needs a little more steering angle in it. I'm thinking like, call up Matt Aubry. He'll weld you up some,
dude, get some drift knuckles in this thing.
Some drift knuckles in this bitch.
Yeah.
And then, as we've seen, SVG, even though he's racing with colleague, he's still a track house driver. We've got the watermelon smash. We've got the pinata, the taco pinata smash. SVG has made his signature, and that is
Beautiful.
it's perfect. One of his crew guys comes running over with
No,
a
it's
Shane.
Chris Rice.
Was it Chris Rice? I
Yeah,
didn't even
Chris
notice.
Rice goes, here, and he throws it to him, and then SVG turns around and goes, wait, and he throws him a Sharpie.
Yeah, so it's a Shane Van Gisbergen rugby ball, which we had an argument in Discord, and again, our man in the upside down, Brent Newton himself, said, nope, that's a rugby ball. Says Shane Van Gisbergen right on it. He signs it, and then he punts it into the crowd.
And a beautiful kick,
Yeah.
by the
And
way.
then it looked like
Effortless
it was hard
kick,
to tell,
and it was perfect.
but it looked like they beach balled it for a little bit. It looked like it was
They
going
were
around the
tossing it
crowd.
around.
Yeah.
And then some kid got it. They posted the picture on Twitter. Super cool to see that.
And then it
Yeah.
was cool. I don't know if you saw it. I posted it in Discord. It was kind of on a weird Twitter account. It wasn't everywhere, but he actually brought, I think either that kid or another kid brought him out onto the track to give him the checkered flag, took pictures in front of the burned down car on the start finish line, and gave the kid the flag. Like,
He's just a class
how
act.
could you not love this dude?
If you don't listen to the show.
he just
don't listen to the
enjoys
show. We
everything.
love him.
It's like I said to the guys before we started recording. I have liked him since he came in the Chicago race last year.
Yeah.
But I am now borderline on like, I want to go buy a shirt and become like, he's my guy. Like, I love him.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Whoa.
I still
Dude,
think
you're
I'll
going
be
to
a free
leave Denny
agent.
Hamlin for
Breaking
SVG?
news.
Now I want to fight you outside. I
Dan's
swear
all
to
Dan
God,
Walker is considering
considering.
a driver. You haven't had a driver in what, 15 years?
Probably more than that. No, less than that. I still don't think he'd be my only driver, but I'm saying the fact that I want to buy his shirt, because I haven't bought, Jesus, when was the last driver shirt that I bought? I bought Gordon's when he ran the throwback rainbow car at Bristol that year. I think that's the last time I bought a driver-specific, not vintage shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time I went to
Bowman
a souvenir
shirts, but
hauler.
those aren't necessarily like car shirts. Car
Oh, I
prints.
have some of the ABR shirts,
And
yeah,
then
but
Perez. You
that's
bought
different.
Brad's
I got
shirts.
Brad shirts. But the last time I walked up to a souvenir trailer and bought a specific driver shirt, it was the Rainbow Warrior throwback car from like, was that his retirement year? Was
Yeah,
that
so
like
2016 or so?
Yeah.
Probably the last time that I, Yeah.
But yeah, love SVG. I know Blocka, when we started this podcast, when you guys started this podcast, we started the Discord, we were talking about a burnout. I don't remember what it was. Probably a Larson one. Probably a
No,
Logano
we were
one.
talking about SVG coming to do Chicago, and he was like, this is the guy that's coming to do the Cup race.
I think it was before that. And
Maybe
he
it
goes,
was.
remember I showed you guys this video of the best burnout ever, and it's SVG wins the championship. and he's drifting donuts with the steering wheel out the window around the trophy.
They put the trophy
on the pedestal
on
the
the
front
track.
stretch.
That's right, yeah.
And then he noses the car into the wall lightly, somehow wedges the gas pedal. The car is boiling the tires off. He jumps out of the car, jumps on the roof, is cheering, then jumps off the car, runs like 100 yards up the straightaway, grabs the trophy. Meanwhile, the car is sitting back there just boiling its tires off, goes running back with the championship trophy, gets back in the car, unwedges the gas. The tires never stop spinning, by the way. Gets back in the car and then starts doing burnouts with the door open, holding the trophy out the window.
Absolute animal.
Absolute animal.
So I was a fan of this guy before I even knew who he was because Blanca shared that video, I want to say years ago.
No, it was that happened like 2 years ago. So I think it was when it
years
happened.
ago.
Yeah, counts.
Is it not?
It's years.
But it was before he announced he was doing
Hands
the
are getting
91
thrown
car.
tonight.
And then he announces he's doing the 91 car, and Blanca's like, this is the guy. And we're like, we all connected the dot, and we're like, okay, there's no way this could go poorly.
Yeah.
Like, this dude, he's just loving life. I mean, we talked about it at Martinsville when the TV studio thought they were going to get a nice snippet of him getting pissed off in the car because he gets doored, he gets put in the wall, he's battling his ass off for 25th. And they cut to his in-car, and he's like, oh, this is fucking sick. I love this.
Yeah. He's
And
like,
it's
I'm having a blast out here, mate. And it's like, oh,
like
hell
that-
yeah.
We wanted you to be a Ryan Blaney right now. We wanted you to be flipping everybody off out the windshield, and this dude's getting his shit kicked in 20th.
Yeah.
And he's loving every second.
He's
of it.
having so much fun, and I think that's why he's so likable.
That's why he's even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's just light
Yep.
and just a class act. And I hope he's here to stay. I mean, obviously he's not a young guy by any means, but he's still, I would say, in the prime of his racing age.
Yep.
As we typically see drivers. So
Somebody find out.
Awesome.
Did he buy a house in Mooresville, or is he renting a house in Mooresville?
Probably rented for now.
That'll tell you how long he's staying.
So SVG takes home the checkered flag in only his 13th Xfinity start. So he has done, 4 Cup races?
So he did Chicago, Daytona. Did he do the 500? No. Talladega, the
Indy
Coke
Road.
600, and Indy Road. Yeah, I think 4. Yep. I think that sounds about right.
So in the one truck race?
And 1 truck race at
So
what was that,
in
IRP.
18 races, he's got 2 wins.
Yeah, that's a pretty good percentage.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Wow. And the way it looks, plenty more to come.
Yeah.
The Enjoy Illinois 300.
Is there anything to enjoy in Illinois?
Not really.
Did anyone enjoy this race?
Not really.
Okay, that's kind
So
of
we'll
put
hit
it
it.
this way.
I thought this was in
came-
Missouri.
I came back in from the boat.
Joey Logano thinks it's in Louisiana.
Yeah, I came back in from the boat, and it was the end of stage 2, and I had DVR'd the whole race. I was going to watch it when we got home, and I jumped on Discord. I was like, all right, should I watch the whole thing, or have I missed anything? And it was a resounding, no, just turn it on. I was like, okay.
All right. Yeah. We'll breeze through it. Whatever. The highlight of the weekend was 1,000% the Xfinity race.
As usual.
1,000.
Because
Yeah.
but again, as we've talked about 100 times, the Xfinity style car, which used to be the Cup car on a road course, works because it's not supposed to do road courses.
Yep.
It's a big, heavy, live axle, narrow tires, too much power for the tires. That's why all the old
lumbering oaf
That's
of
why
a vehicle.
that is why the Watkins Glen races were so good with the Cup cars. That is why Sonoma was always good with the Cup cars. Now you've got a fucking GT car out there. Of course, it's going to be good at road courses,
Yeah.
And
Which
that's why
makes the racing bad.
and that's why the road courses are boring.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified for this weekend because we have a fucking freshly repaved track. That's going to be that track could be sandpaper and it's still going to be boring.
Well, it's got a lot of potholes in it already.
Yo, true. They're just
It's just bending wheels.
No. There's going to be a spot on the track that's just going to get cut down to one lane like construction traffic. There's
Orange cones
There's a
everywhere.
flagger out there with a slow sign. They gotta merge into one lane of traffic. Caution: speeding fines doubled in work zone.
Just an orange sign, no passing zone. It's like, yeah, bro, we knew that. We showed up.
There's just one cop on either end of the turn.
And there's somebody there again with the slow sign with their AirPods in, like just bored out of their mind, just flipping the sign back and forth,
The cops just have their one door open and are sitting in the car.
getting paid triple time.
There's 2 state troopers in the infield of the final turn, door to door.
Yes,
Talking to each other.
They're just
talking to each
talking,
other. They're not
yeah.
doing anything. They're just talking to each other. This is, yeah.
One guy out there with a whistle, just directing traffic.
And a construction guy smoking a cigarette, leaning on his truck on his cell phone.
What is it? Yeah, drivers will go by. What is this, a union job? 4 guys just standing around a hole. Nothing's going on.
I'm just waiting for the first person to come down. What is it? 16?
Something like that.
Well, whatever. Coming to the final
into the
turn.
final turn.
They, hit,
it's like
they
11.
hit the brakes and it's like a carpet, and the whole thing just like folds up.
unrolls. It's
It's like when the dog comes running into the
and
living room with the
slams up.
slide.
Yeah.
It's the Looney
carpet goes
Tunes
up.
cars where the road is all fucking.
Yeah. No, I see
Like a
exactly what Kyle's
streamer.
saying. The dog comes running in and hits the area rug on the hardwood, and just the rug goes with him.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
They come to the green flag and the whole thing just shoots out behind them.
Everyone stomps on the gas, and it just rolls of.
You know when you drive through
coming
like
out behind
the
them?
road sealant and it just cakes up your tires
Yeah,
and your tires get big? That's gonna be everybody their first pit stall.
Oh my god.
Is they're gonna come in? Their tires gonna be 3 inches taller, it's just packed with tar.
You just see cup cars. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this is what we do here, folks.
Oh, we'll find out. But anyway, enjoy Illinois 300. Michael McDowell and Austin Cindric on the front row lead the field to green.
You watch qualifying?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that heater McDowell laid down?
Yeah.
Like you're watching the cool. This was actually a cool track to have the SMT ghost car thing because you could see like.
Because it worked.
Well, and you could see different like you get in a little hot, but you give out some on exit. Like everybody was running different strategies, and it was really cool. And then McDowell goes out there and just puts 4 fucking tents on everybody, which is unheard of in today's NASCAR. And then he backs it up. I think he ran like a 38 in the what is it? What were they running? 33, 38s or whatever. And he ran like a 40 in the second round. So it wasn't like he just got lucky that one time.
Yeah.
He put a fucking heater down in
He's
the
been
first round.
qualifying like
Is
crazy.
his 3rd pole this year?
Yeah. Carteropoli in the chat said during driver intros, Cody Ware got a golf clap and Priest got nothing.
Yeah, Carteropoli said he was sitting front row by the finish line. You missed nothing.
Until the end. Yeah. But yeah, congrats to Austin Cindric with a great qualifying run.
Yeah, that was surprising. The few things I've listened to today were basically talking about that the Fords are really good here and none of them can explain why.
Yeah.
It's not like they can be like, oh, we found a setup and we hit on it. Like, I think Austin Cindric said it. He's like,
We still don't know why.
I don't know why we're so good here, but it works.
Yeah.
So,
But good news is we made it 18 laps in to get the first 2 incidents with Cody Ware.
why is he still out
Lap
there?
4, John Hunter Nemechek and Cody Ware get together, bringing out a caution. Lap 18, Cody Ware and Dirk Kraus get together and bring out a caution. Stop putting him in the car.
We will say, I mean, Norm.
Can we pin it on him every time? No, but he always seems to be there.
Yeah.
You know who's not always there? Kaz Gralla.
Yeah.
Leave him in the car.
Norm is not here. There he is, but we were laughing because we forgot that Rick Ware is in drag racing. So we walk by the hauler, we're like, oh no, but then you forget that they're actually good at that.
They're good.
And Norm brought up a really interesting point that the RFK NHRA hauler, or the Rick Ware NHRA hauler, had RFK stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coincidence or not.
I think it's a coincidence.
I
mean,
knew they were in drag racing.
They're in cahoots together.
Because
They're
they're
in
Clay
cahoots, but it
Milliken,
was-
who's a riot.
they are in cahoots. We knew that, but it was funny to walk by the hauler and Norm's like, wait a minute.
They got one design guy
Yeah.
Yeah.
or gal. All right. So anyway, good battle up front with Seabell and Michael McDowell. Seabell finally gets around him, I don't know, lap 40 or so, give or take, with maybe-ish. But we get to the end of the first stage very early at lap 45 with Christopher Bell taking the very first stage, followed by McDowell, Blaney, Cindric, Hamlin, your top 5, Byron, Gibbs, Reddick, Logano, and Elliott, your points getters in that first stage. Back to green for the second stage. Kyle Busch leading the field. Seabell gets around him a handful of laps later, making a good pass on him. We get to 108. Martin Truex Jr. loses his left rear tire, having to make an unscheduled stop. Shortly thereafter, Josh Berry loses a front left and puts it into the fence, bringing out a caution, ending his day.
He hit the wall a ton.
Yeah.
That was not a fun place to blow a tire.
Oddly, the exact same place the 4-car hit it the last
I saw
time.
somebody point that out today, that it was a mirror image, or the exact image of last year.
Yep.
Of when
Not as hard. Harvick was.
Harvick blew the brakes out. That's
Yeah. That hit a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Josh got out of the car, walked around it, and he was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, he was looking for exploded rotors.
I thought the wheel came off. I thought that's what it was.
Because it
was so cocked.
It was pointed right.
I'm not convinced it
I'm
didn't.
assuming it broke the steering when he hit. But
Could've.
you saw, a
But
big
it
puff
was
of
the front
smoke.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole steering wheel could have been pointed left. We don't know. It could have hit the wall
I
and
guess.
turned the whole
ripped
wheel
everything
left.
over.
Right.
Yeah. But to me, like where it went down, it looked like it locked up and then slid into the wall. I feel like that front left came loose.
Could have.
He could have flat spotted it, and as soon as he hit the brakes, it hit that flat spot, and popped the
Yeah,
tire.
it definitely could have been. But the footage when it was the four coming straight at the camera, it just was coming straight, and then all of a sudden, boom, smoke straight into the fence.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a blown rotor? And then when they cut to the side shot and I saw it was cocked, I'm like, I'm not sure that was a blown tire.
Yeah, but I think the wheel was still connected. It's weird. I think
Remember the seatbelt thing when it was jammed in the wheel well?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, that thing broke the this tie rod or whatever it broke.
But Josh Berry got out of
Who
the
knows?
car and said it blew a tire. I mean, he looked at it. Obviously, if he looks and he goes, "Oh, the rotor's pointing straight and the wheel's pointing right," obviously the wheel's off.
Yeah.
But he got out and he said in his post race in his post medical center interview, it blew a tire.
Yeah.
Or at least that's
just
what they
looked
think.
weird.
Yeah, I 100% at first thought rotor, and then when I saw the wheel turned, I went, "Oh, it lost the wheel." But everything he said after, I mean, obviously, if he saw that the lug was off, he would have said it because it's not a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah. But coming to the end of stage 2, we have the Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, as Dan would call it, kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle.
So what happened? Tell the folks there, Norm.
Pretty much, they're racing for I want to say like 8th place or so.
I think
6th
it
to
was.
8th.
I thought it was 10th because everything I read or saw today was that they were racing for the last stage point.
I thought they were a little ahead of it, but
I
either
thought
way,
they were too, but
they're
then
fighting
everything-
for stage points at the end of
Yes,
the
yeah,
stage.
yes.
I want to. Yeah, I think 8
I've
was correct. Dan. Well,
I heard from
Kyle's
both.
interview was. I'm not sure what that point is worth.
Because I heard it on 2 different shows today that they were fighting for the last stage point. But I agree. I thought they were in like 7th. So I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't
I
matter.
think he meant like that stage point,
A single
not the
extra
only
point.
point,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
an additional point.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Pretty much, they come off turn 4. Larson definitely fades up into him,
He tries to side draft him.
and they touch a little bit off the corner, and it seems like Larson jumps down, but Kyle may chase him down.
Oh yeah.
And definitely going into the entrance of turn 1, Kyle enters Busch enters super shallow. They touch a couple more times getting into the corner. Eventually, Larson he's spinning out. He has no traction. The air's off his car. Kyle Busch is pinning him all the way to the bottom of the track.
Well, he
basically
doesn't.
to the
He doesn't
rumble
get his
strips.
arc into the corner because Bush pinches him way down the track. Because obviously they touch coming off of 4, and that pissed Kyle Busch off because he's already mad at everything anyway. So he decides, oh well, fuck you. I'm gonna pinch you off getting into 1. And when they do that, Larson can't get his arc in. And I mean, as soon as they go in the corner, it swaps ends on him. You know.
Yeah.
And therefore, he's obviously side by side with Kyle Busch. So when Larson spins, it spins him up into Kyle.
I don't think we ever got a blimp shot, which would have been the
I don't think we did. Yeah.
the best and most clear like rendition of what happened. We got on boards, and there was like one straightaway shot that kind of saw it. It was really hard to tell in the moment, but it seems like Kyle Busch definitely pinched him, and that's what caused the whole thing.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch was definitely worse for the wear after that one.
He was out. Yeah.
Kyle Larson somehow kept going.
Larson ended up hitting the wall. He just backed it straight in, but not hard enough to like cause a concussion or crinkle the car at all. Like he just backed it straight into the fence and then continued on. Kyle went up and he got the wall with wheels and broken toe.
he had it
He was coming
dead
down the
flat
track
on the
and the
right
Done his day.
Yeah, he had toe links flapping all over the place.
Yeah.
Right to the garage.
Yeah. So that was the end of stage 2. Final stage, we have some varying strategies, but we stay green for the vast majority of it.
The whole stage went green.
And I mean, Seabell and Blaney, basically the 2 strongest cars, if you will.
And it was cool because they were on varying strategies. Blaney short pit everybody. So Cindric was leading. He led like 40 some odd laps.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaney short pit him by a lap. So Blaney jumps him. So you've got the 2 Penske cars, Blaney and Cindric, are way ahead of everybody else. And once, they all make their pit stops. What was the tire advantage? Like, I think they came in, like 20 laps later?
Yeah. It was
something like
around
that.
20 laps, and Seabell had to come back from like 6th or 7th.
Yeah. And
Like Seabell lost a lot of track position because he stayed out later. And dude, raced them, ran them all down.
he was mowing. through the
Blaney
field.
had like a 2.5 second over Cindric, and him and Seabell battled for 8 laps side by side.
It was an awesome battle. It was,
the most impressive thing is Cindric gained nothing on them when they were doing this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were side by side for laps, and Cindric, his distance stayed the same.
It was a good battle, but it was again the typical next gen battle for the lead where take an air away or they get side by side, but somebody's got a better line or
Yeah, there wasn't
the one good one was
massive air.
The one I loved was when Bell got by Blaney and Blaney just crossed him back over and got back by him because I thought as soon as Bell got by Blaney, he's gone.
Right. Well, now Blaney stuck to the inside, which is the less desirable line, but he was able to clear him right away.
It was actually that was a sick move.
Yeah. It was cool because there wasn't a shit ton of arrow blocking.
Yeah,
they were definitely like, I'm in the preferred lane. I have the slower car at this point in time, but I'm going to hold you off because I'm in the preferred lane.
Yeah.
So it was cool to watch. It was a natural battle, but it was kind of just like stalemate. It's C. Bell should rocket past him. He has the better car, way better tires.
Yep.
He should freaking gap this guy, and he's stuck next to him. Yeah. So I'm sure it was frustrating for C. Bell, but it was great TV to watch.
Oh, it was. It was an exciting part of the race.
Until Ryan Blaney threw the one and only, I'd say, aero block in the whole thing. Blaney had been consistently running the top, and C. Bell was stuck on the bottom. And into 3 on one lap, Blaney just goes from the top to the bottom. Yeah. And just straight cuts Bell off. And I'm wondering if Bell had to like clutch in or something and reacted, because right after that, Bell all of a sudden dropped a straightaway behind him and said, I'm blowing up. He lost a cylinder or whatever.
A lot of speculation that it was, because they were going down 2 gears in the corners here. So there's a lot of speculation that maybe he dropped down a little too early, over-revved it. Yeah. Corey was saying that when you're upshifting, when you're accelerating, there's the chip, there's the rev limiter, but that doesn't come into play if you downshift too fast and rev the thing to the moon and float some valves.
Yeah, right. And because
he hurt them. He didn't blow the motor, but he hurt the thing.
Because it was right after Blaney threw that Hail Mary block on him.
I think you might be on
I'm
something.
wondering if he like reacted and had to slam on the brakes, so he downshifted really fast and over rev the engine, because it was the next straightaway he fell back.
Yep.
But unfortunately, dude, Blaney, I don't know if he was going to hold him off for the 20 laps that were remaining, but it was going to be a show.
It was great TV. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And big shouts to Martin Truex Jr., who was basically out of the race, basically pushed C. Bell to the victory. He had no speed on the straightaways.
Not to the victory, but kept him in the top 10.
To finish, actually.
That car would have probably would have dropped multiple more. The field was really spread out, but he was, I think, a couple places I've heard said he was like a second and a half slower, if not more. Yeah. And Truex comes up behind him, and I heard the radio chatter, and which I don't know if you guys heard this, was phenomenal. Truex is coming up behind Bell, and he's obviously slow, and they get on the radio and they say, hey, Bell's blown up. You blah, blah, blah. And Truex goes, I wish I would have fucking blown up 100 laps ago.
That was his only response.
Truex blew a tire during the green flag run earlier in the race and went down 2 laps.
And
he was in 34.
He was done.
2 laps down.
But
there was 2 cars DNF'd at this point, so he was
the dry responsive. I wish I had blown up 100 fucking laps ago.
So great teammate, pushed him down the straights for many laps, and I think salvaged the vast majority of his day.
Discussing on the broadcast that you could do that every lap except for the white flag lap.
Correct. I think that's the rule.
And he was picking up 0.6 a second a lap. Over his
previous
alone times, and then Truex pushing him down the straightaways. Truex did get confused at one point because Reddick passed him. And Truex went with Reddick and went, oh shit, wrong car, and then backed up and
he backed off.
Behind 20.
I didn't see that.
Reddick came up behind him to pass him for position at 20, and Truex jumped low to follow Reddick by, and then goes into turn 1 and just hits the brakes and lets the 20 get by him again. So it's I'm gonna help the 45 pass you, and then I'm gonna help you get behind him again.
I think that's exactly what he did. Yeah, because when he jumped down, he pushed the 45. 45 gets a good run. MTJ is like a bumper ahead. And then just comes back around.
Throws out a parachute into turn 1, gets back behind the 20.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was funny.
Someone owes that man a fish dinner.
Seemed like the biggest upset of the race.
Oh, at the time?
Yeah.
Until we took a definite, was this a good race? No. To, okay, this was exciting.
I still voted
we just had a battle and a half, and then the guy battling him, who's the better car, should have passed him.
Yeah.
Starts blowing up. That's crazy.
I think it was exciting.
Then we get to the goddamn white flag.
So
and what happens?
I thought it was interesting. So even before all the white flag drama, Blaney was in traffic and Cindric was catching him. You're coming to 2 to go, and Cindric is in the same shot as Blaney. He got it down to a second. So I'm like, oh, this might get interesting. Like if Blaney gets caught up in traffic, there's like 2 to go.
Yeah, Suarez was Blaney's worst enemy.
Oh,
at the end of that
Suarez
race.
was well, and that Suarez was the thing that made me see what happened. So Blaney gets by Suarez. They kind of like it's Fox doing camera work. They cut around, then they cut to a camera, and Suarez is going back by Blaney, like not slow either. Like he's flying by Blaney, and I'm like, what the hell? And then they cut to the radio. I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas.
Right. Well, that was in a 3, and shout out.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Dale Tanhart. We give the garage guys shit every once in a while. They're funny guys, but it seemed like they weren't like as into the sport as they portrayed. Yeah. But Dale Tanhart does like a live Twitch thing during the race.
Dale loves NASCAR.
Yeah, and he did a live Twitch thing, and he was like, the 12's wiggling. It's like, dude, how the fuck did you just see that? Like I'm watching the broadcast, and it's Fox, so I can see the left front fender of the leader pretty much. And he goes, he's wiggling, and the 99's by him, and he's getting all excited. I'm like, damn, dude, that's a good call.
Yeah, all I saw,
didn't even notice he was wiggling.
All I saw was the 99 go by him, and I was like, oh, shit. So Blaney, good old Larry Mack, I went back and looked at the pit stops, and from what I can conclude, like his I love his breakdown of it. Pretty much everybody else put 2 cans of fuel in, or they plugged the second can in. Doesn't mean they took all of it, but they
got at least a gallon or 2 in there.
Blaney only did 1 can, and Flores's explanation of this was they were trying to make sure they beat the 2 car.
Well, they leapfrogged him and put 2.5 seconds on him.
That's the thing. So that's what I mean. So at the time when they came in, they were behind the 2. They were trying to leapfrog him. So they were trying to they were living on the razor's edge. But what I don't understand is there was no indication. They never told Ryan to save fuel. They never said you're close. So this is also another one I was listening to today. Denny said he wonders if they got the calculation wrong of what was in the car still. You know what I mean? Like they know what they put in. They know what came out of that can they put in. There was probably less in there than they expected. You know, whether it be he was using 3rd gear more than they thought. Flores said something about, the temperature being, when they practiced, it was 20, 30 degrees colder. That's going to affect how the engine runs, how it eats fuel. That little bit, he was, 3/4 of a lap short? If there's any explanation there, but they thought they were golden with 1 can. They never told him to save fuel. They never told him to switch to the reserve tank. They never said, hey, you're close. Give us a little bit.
The broadcast said that they're good on fuel multiple times.
There was a thing. I saw a tweet get posted. I think it was Bob was like, and now these 3 cars pit. Now Blaney, Cindric, and whoever else was are
John
good.
Hunter was
John
the
Hunter
last
are
one.
good to go.
Yeah.
And apparently not.
So
it just seems it almost felt like the chase at Watkins Glen last year when he just ran out of gas unexpectedly, and everyone was like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely heartbreaking. Ryan Blaney seems like he was sailing off into the sunset. Not so fast.
Yep.
Runs out of fuel. Austin Cindric gets by him, takes the checkered flag. Blaney ends up finishing 24th.
He literally creeped across the line at like 5 miles an hour. Like he
I don't know
barely
how
made
he got
back.
it turned around and onto pit road.
That's what I was thinking the same thing because they showed him coming across the line and he was at walking pace.
Yeah.
And he still made it to the end of pit road and like turned around and came back.
Give it the old
yeah,
bump
because
start.
he was nose to nose with Keselowski, who finished 3 end.
Yeah.
And so like he made it, like he did a U-turn and
3 end?
3 end?
That's what it said in the Fox broadcast.
Oh, did it?
It said Brad Keselowski finished 3 ND.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, did you know
God.
Shane Van Gisbergen was in yesterday's race too?
So it wasn't Justin Allgaier.
Justin
dude.
Allgaier was
They
too.
are a nightmare.
It's so bad. We didn't even really talk outside of the burnout commercial how bad the Xfinity race was.
Yeah.
The broadcast. There was one. It was when Balicki got shipped on the restart. They didn't even say anything about it. They're like, all the cars have made it through, and I'm like, I just watched a car spin. Like, what are you talking about?
This is one of the cleanest restarts we've seen. There's 3 cars backwards in the center of the turn, and 4 just
5
went
of them
through
taking the shortcut.
through the chicane, like through the cut through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Austin Cindric gets a checkered flag, followed by Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, and Joey Logano. Your top 5. Austin Dillon finishing 6th. C. Bell, Carson Hocevar finishing 8th. Justin Haley with another top 10.
Unreal.
And Kyle Larson wraps up your top 10.
Blaney gifts Cindric another
So
win.
pretty much there was 2 cautions in the first stage,
Yeah.
and half the field changed their strategies.
Yeah.
So they leapfrogged everybody, and then the field just stayed like that for the rest of the day. So we had, 15 cars stayed out at one point, and they barely moved.
So Denny was talking about on his show the fall off numbers, and how basically the tire fell off about half a second, which is nothing.
So pretty much the guys who stayed out, if they didn't get put 4 wide in the first turn, they just stayed there.
That's what happened to Corey. Corey broke it down. I was the little bit of his show I listened to, because we said he got like shipped on a restart. I guess he went
from 15th to 30th in one.
So
restart.
what happened was, it was that pit stop where like 15 cars stayed out, and they were like, we'll stay out. There's probably going to be a couple cars behind us that stay out. We'll have a buffer to the new tires. Once it gets singled out, we'll be able to hold our spot. He ended up being the last car on old tires. So as soon as they went green, he just got eaten alive, and he couldn't do any. Like, there was, like I said, he was 4 wide off at one point.
Like the front 8, I think, are safe.
Yeah.
Everything behind that, it's just immediate dive bomb 4 wide city, and it's just hope that you're in the right lane when you get put 4 wide.
Exactly.
Bowman lost brakes at like the beginning of the race. It was like halfway through stage 1, and I saw something on Twitter that his brake pedal was already to the floor.
Yeah, I saw his post after the race last night saying he had no brakes like the whole race.
Yeah. Which is crazy, and that's scary.
That's
because
scary
That's
as
a
hell.
track where we've seen many rotors explode in the past few years. First race, probably at Gateway, we haven't seen rotors explode today or this weekend. And yeah, his pedal goes to the floor right at the beginning of the race. It's like, oh, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I'm all set
I'm
with
not
that.
jealous of that job.
But I'm happy. Like, I hate it for honestly, Bell and Blaney. I hate it for both of them because they both had the fastest cars and probably should have won.
The shit Bell's getting for winning last week, it's like, cool, you won. You deserve to win, but like, you won on a race that shouldn't have been canceled.
Yeah.
And to come back the next week and be the strongest car, it's like, hell yeah, that's a nice
That's awesome.
fucking
Yeah.
exclamation point for you.
But I will say,
like, see, I do. Now I have 2 wins and I deserve it, or 3 wins technically, and I deserve it. And now it's like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah. And then I've also seen a ton of people like, oh, Cindric was gifted this win, which he was. But how do you get gifted a win?
He wasn't gifted.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is he was gifted a win. How do you get gifted a win? You don't get gifted a win if you're running 25th. He was running 3rd. He had one of the fastest cars all weekend. He was in the top 5 the whole damn race.
He qualified second.
Outside of strategy moves, he was in the top 5 the whole damn race. And he led like 45, 50 laps. Like, yes, if it wasn't for other people's struggles, he wasn't going to win the race. But if you run well, wins will find you. And
he
that
qualified good. I don't think he had the raw speed throughout most of the race, but Penske played some crazy pit strategy throughout the day.
Yeah.
They put all 3 of the Penske guys up front late in
How could you say he didn't have the raw speed? He finished 4th in the first stage, 2nd in the second stage, and won the race.
Didn't he fall back like the rest of them, though?
No, he was
I
running
remember
like
at
top
one
5,
point,
top
No,
10
he
the whole
was.
race.
all 3 of the Penske cars stayed out, and they were the front 3.
I mean, he
I
got
just remember they were the big deal after that.
56 points on the day.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good day. He was fast. I just didn't think he was up there the entire day. I
No,
thought
I
he
think-
was.
Back. I thought he fell
was.
back
No, he was up there most
with
of
the crazy pit strategy when RCR just came out of nowhere and they just took 2 25th place cars and put them up front.
Yeah.
And they just sat there.
Yeah. So, yeah, congrats to Austin Cindric, and a little shake-up to the playoff standings.
Rip everybody's playoff predictions.
playoff predictions
and everyone's bracket challenge
So
is
you saw the thing, right? There is, out of the 30, I think it was 33,000 or 31,000 whatever Denny Hamlin bracket challenges, there are 0 perfect brackets remaining because
Shit, that's not me.
I forgot to do mine. I was pissed. I was going to do it this week and I forgot, and then I was watching the race. I went, shit. But it wasn't just Cindric either. So Cindric beat Bubba in the bracket challenge. Truex got beat by whoever, I forget who it was, who he was racing, but obviously he had a shit day. So that blew up a bunch of people's brackets. Bowman
to John Hunter
to John
Nemechek.
Hunter. Even Denny brought it up because he finished what? 4th? 3rd? 4th?
Denny?
Second?
Second.
But he was up against Justin Haley. He's like, Justin Haley's like 4 spots behind me. He's like, I almost lost to Justin Haley. Like, what's happening? You know, and
Justin Haley running damn well is what's happening.
that's what it is. But so the brackets, and this is why he was saying, Denny keeps pushing this thing of when NASCAR does this next year, they should put up like $1 million, $5 million prize to a perfect bracket, because they were talking about it on his show today that literally it is harder to predict this than March Madness because it's a completely unpredictable sport like we watched yesterday. You had the guy with the best car blow up, the other guy runs out of fuel. You will never have a perfect bracket. Like it's like mathly impossible, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, that does it for the old race recap. Shall we answer some questions?
If anyone's left in live chat, this is the time to ask your questions while we go to the Instagram.
Yes. Oh God. We'll start with Jet Daily.
Oh boy.
Wanting to trade 1 Larson waiver for 1 Blaney gallon of gas. Want to trade. All right, Nathan Danforth. So you're telling me in order for Cindric to win, Blaney needs the win to slip out of his hands.
Pretty much how both of them worked.
Yeah. Everyone's like, 84 whatever race winless streak. I'm like, it's really weird to say because
He's
he
only
won
at 85
his
starts.
he won his very first race ever in Cup, and then this one.
Yeah.
Nothing in between. Anyway, Coleman Wilson, Jordan Bianchi is the Austin Hill of NASCAR podcast for me.
He goes.
That's good.
He's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He goes whatever Gluck thinks. He does the opposite of just to be a problem.
Right.
My mother calls it oppositional disorder.
That. Thank you.
Right. You wear the away jersey to the game just to get the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like listening to him today. This is now
Captain Chaos.
2 weeks in a row. Him and Gluck have gone back and forth about the waiver thing, and it's like he just does it to it. Like he gets Gluck going because he's like, yeah, well, that's the rule, And he's just he plays the opposite just to be the opposite.
Yeah. Sam Valley 95 with a couple. Would you ever like to see the Cup cars go to Portland?
I think it's too small, too narrow.
Dude, whatever they do, they need to build a fucking victory lane at that track.
Well, you don't like the banner on the brick
2
wall?
years in a row, we've had a banner on the side of a fucking portable garage. It's unacceptable.
My old high school has better grandstands than that place.
Yeah. The fucking victory lane at the K1 Speed in Austin, Texas was nicer than
Yeah, it was. That was actually pretty nice.
It was actually
the
nice.
freaking podium's milk crates at freaking
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it put on a great show. I don't know if the Cup cars would do as well there, but
I mean, it'd be interesting.
it's a
but
great track.
I see the
really
cup cars
tight.
going to Mid-Ohio before they go to Portland.
Mid-Ohio would be cool.
Ohio's badass.
But those tracks, they're just so narrow.
Yeah.
And the cup cars are so big.
Yeah. Sam Valley 95 comes back. Okay. We got some in the chat.
We got some rolling. in.
We'll do these and
by,
then get
by
in there.
some too.
All right. Any favorite NASCAR commercials from back in the day that stick out to you?
I've been seeing them a lot recently that I kind of forgotten about, but the old Team Monte Carlo commercials where they had all the drivers. Like,
Those were good.
Where I still remember the one like, Dale Earnhardt's first car was pink, and they're like, what? Like, there's that. There was like a Terry and Jeff one. There was a Jeff and Dale one. Like,
I'm at the wrong track.
and they
It's
were all
forever ingrained in me.
filmed like super orangey red. Like they were just cool. They were awesome.
I liked the what was it? Casey Kane, the fake cologne commercial.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Holy shit, I
oil.
forgot.
He
Yeah.
put like oil on
Yes.
himself or something like that.
Didn't he sprays it on himself and there's like women falling all over themselves?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I remember
I
that.
like the Jeremy Mayfield one.
Wasn't that Snoko?
Yeah.
It was a Snoko commercial.
The
Like
Jeremy
when they
Mayfield
first
one
Sounds right.
it was the same thing. It was like the
I think
girl
they-
getting ready for the date, and she's
Yes.
like pouring like gas on herself.
Yeah, I think that
That's
that
the
must
one
be
you're
Mayfield.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
so
one.
it's Mayfield. Yeah,
And
she
he
jumps in his
he
car.
pulls up in the Dodge. The
Yes.
he pulls
Yes.
up the 18. Yeah, he pulls up in the 19.
I really like the Chase Elliott Dale Jr. Merch commercial.
merch
Oh, that
one.
one's
Oh my
super
God.
good.
The car cover. He's like, who would buy that? He's like, that's my car.
That's my car. Yeah.
The Chase Elliott action figure.
Yeah.
That's a blow up doll. Blow up action figure.
Those are good. Pretty much every Michael Waltrip NASCAR commercial or Napa commercial was
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the day. The
Even
Dale
recently-
Jr., Michael Waltrip, Nextel football one just popped up.
Even recently, the Denny like your PJs.
Yeah.
Like that was just
That
funny.
was great.
That
That's
felt
a
like
modern.
Hey
that was a-
Hamlin, I like your PJs.
that was a throwback to what we used to
Yeah.
have.
Those were awesome.
Remember the Dale Jr. or the Dale Senior like Realtree one where he wins the race and then drives the car into the woods to go hunting.
Yeah.
Like
I was just thinking of another one. Crap. Oh, the one with like the kids in the stands had control of the cars.
Yes.
The RC
Yeah.
car one.
Yeah,
Tony's
the
like, was
Toyota
that
one.
Tony like running away from the car?
And Tony had his hands up
Yeah.
and he's like, ah,
Yeah.
and then he gets out and starts sprinting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were so
I miss
many good
those.
ones.
Those were the days.
Chase Elliott action figure.
That's a blow up doll. And that worked for Chase's personality because he was just like
So
super
dry, yeah.
dry and annoyed.
Yeah,
that he was
there
even there.
Like, they had the wiggly glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
there's so many good ones. What's one fire suit you would like to have in your NASCAR collection?
Any of them. Hey, do you know we can buy the one we used at the NASCAR Racing Experience for $300? I got that email no less than 5 minutes after I left the
I
track.
got the email
Yeah.
too, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah,
Yep. Well,
Like, I
you're
didn't-
supposed to be there. You know,
I didn't wear any of them.
you were his Steph.
Yep.
Yeah,
She subbed in for you.
she did better than you did.
Because I wasn't there.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I also want to bring up that car. The second time I rode the same car as you did, I said that seat was really tight. The next morning I woke up, it felt like I got punched in like the back of like this area back here.
It was
like,
tight there on me.
It was tight on that, so I had to like wedge myself into the car. Once I was in, I was fine.
Like the part that was like up to your armpits. Yeah.
And I think what happened was when I got out the second time, so the first time the guy took the Hans device off me before I got out of the car, made it way easier. The second time the guy was like, no, it's got to stay on. I'm like, okay, no arm.
I wanted to pull up the YouTube chat.
So I went to get out and I got like, my head got like half stuck. And I think I ended up leaning on that and like, and like pivoting on it. So we were playing golf the next day and I was like my fucking rib hurts so bad. And I touched it and I was like it was so tender. Like I couldn't even touch it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Took you a while to figure out why.
Yeah. And then I'm like thinking back, I'm like, you know what? I bet you it was that damn
For about a week after we went to Coda, my hip hurt. And I couldn't figure out why my hip hurt. It was when Rybo T-boned me. At K1.
At K1, yep.
Yeah.
I was too busy being out
I
in
got
front.
broadsided.
I was too busy being in front. I didn't have to worry about crashing.
That's the first time you've done that.
Yeah, it ain't race picks.
Or the media challenge.
Fuck you.
Downriver diecast with a couple. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke all day.
Pepsi.
I'm a Pepsi guy.
I'm not a the only thing Pepsi I like is Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I don't drink the original flavors. I drink Mountain Dew.
Pepsi is trash, but you give me the brown soda, it's Coke all day.
Pepsi
tastes
or
like Diet Coke to me.
McDonald's Sprite.
McDonald's doesn't count. They put drugs in there.
Yeah, that's true.
McDonald's Sprite till I die.
Coke all day long.
I know it's not a part of the question, but it's Norm's show, so I get to make the rules. Dr. Pepper.
I'm not a big Dr. Pepper guy.
All day. Dr. Pepper. Way better than
he
both
was
of them.
there on... Or yeah.
I'm not a soda guy, which we've talked about. The only soda that I like, other than I'm a ginger ale guy. I like ginger ale because I'm old.
You are old.
Yeah, big old man vibes. Once a year, probably, I get myself a Dr. Pepper.
So it happened at the track on Friday night. I was going to get a soda, and I ordered a Mountain Dew, and they're like, oh, they're in the cooler. And I open them up, and I'm like, you know what sounds better than a Mountain Dew right now? I got a root beer.
It was a mug.
I haven't had a root beer in a while, and I had another one today. I've been on a little bit of a root beer kick right now. You're not a root beer guy?
I hate root
I
beer.
won't drink.
I love it.
I've tried it so many times. I'm like, maybe I like it now. Nope.
So even better than like the chain, the big brand ones is when you go to like a farm stand and they have the glass bottle root beer that like they've made.
So I won't drink bottled root beer, but I was up in Maine years ago. I was doing a canoe trip across Maine, canoeing down a bunch of rivers. We did like 50 miles. We popped out on this lake, and we decided to stop on the side of the lake and go kind of explore the little shanty town that was pretty much attached to it because it's Maine. And these two old like folks were like selling root beer out of the front of their house, and it was that thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in like old Coke glass bottles.
Oh, it's the best.
And I grabbed one thinking it was a Sprite because I'm like, I don't really like root beer, but it was homemade root beer, dude. Best thing I've ever drank in my life.
Oh, it's so refreshing.
Definitely probably had drugs in it.
Oh, this is a good one. Downriver diecast. Mount Rushmore of sit-down chain restaurants.
We know Kyle's is just 4 different Applebee's locations.
Sure. Not Richmond Airport though.
Sit down chain restaurants.
Let's go cheap sit-down chains because
nothing's cheap anymore, dude.
No, we'll go with like the low tier ones.
I'm going low tier.
Yeah,
we'll
go low tier. All right, you ready? Go ahead.
Well, I got one because it's my favorite. Is Friendly's.
Great pick.
Big Friendly's.
Great
For those
pick.
not in New England, because Friendly's is only like New England and Florida because all the New England people that moved to Florida opened some.
They followed us.
They followed them. Friendly's is just like a burger, sandwich, ice. They have their own ice cream kind of joint. I don't know. I've always just loved Friendly's.
Friendly, good pick.
I'd have to put Applebee's on there.
Yeah,
Applebee's
hell yeah.
is definitely. What do we got? 4 on Mount Rushmore. So Friendly's, Applebee's. This is hard, actually, especially for me because I don't fucking eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I'm gonna go Applebee's for sure.
Yep. My carbon appreciates you.
Yeah, definitely Applebee's. Does margaritas?
Yeah.
I would say margaritas
allow it.
counts.
Count
I think
as a
margaritas
chain?
counts. Yeah.
Margaritas. I'm gonna add Chili's in there.
I didn't think you were a Chili's guy.
I like Chili's.
I always figured that was like an anti-Applebee's kind of.
So you have 2 Applebee's on your list, pretty much.
Hate
And TGI Fridays.
No, he hates TGI Fridays.
They're all the
TGI
same.
Fridays.
He has a problem with them.
Yeah, personal vendetta.
This isn't-
Cheesecake Factory.
I was gonna say this isn't on the cheap end, but I'm going Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
So I got Friendly's, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory.
This is tough.
This actually is kind of hard
Yeah.
because like then you get into
Oh, no, wait. I'm taking Chili's off. Red Robin.
You bitch. Red Robin. Red Robin is first on my list. Second on my list, Texas Roadhouse. Third, Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
Never
he's
been.
never been.
And then fourth is going to need to be like a breakfast place.
Waffle House.
Can I? No, because they're not all day.
I'm going. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Can I
they're
go?
24
I
hours.
wasn't thinking breakfast.
No, but I'm saying like all food.
Oh, you want it? No, they had lunch at
Did they?
Waffle
Oh, I
House.
didn't get it.
Back in the menu.
I was
has-
going to do
Fuck.
Denny's, but like Denny's from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because Denny's fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
But Denny's, when we were kids or like early teens, Denny's slapped.
I'm going Friendly's, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory, Waffle House.
Yeah, I'm gonna change mine.
Done.
Applebee's, Waffle House. I don't know. We could pick.
If you flip,
Breakfast.
if you no, but if
Yeah,
you,
you're right.
but if you flip the menu over, they had like basic lunch.
Why
I'm
would you
almost
ever do that?
positive. I'm
See,
almost
we
positive.
didn't- we never
it
went
could
there
be
after
3
9
o'clock in the
so-
morning, noon, 10 a.m. does not matter. I'm getting breakfast at Waffle House.
That's
so
I needed,
absolutely.
I needed
Applebee's-
some sort of breakfast place, which is why I threw Denny's in.
Applebee's, Waffle House, Red Robin.
Yeah, Waffle House has Angus
We'll
burgers.
let you have Cheesecake Factory if you want.
Keep
if you
Cheesecake.
want to go a little bougie. Because
I
technically,
put Cheesecake Factory on mine.
I went Texas Roadhouse, which is
I was
on
stuck
those
between.
planes, but it's a little bit pricier than like an Applebee's.
Yeah, but Roadhouse is Roadhouse.
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 But you
fucks.
still need to go to a Cracker Barrel.
I know. I've tried.
We tried to
Man,
bring
that's
him
a
to one.
lot tougher than I thought.
We
it was
tried to
gonna
bring him to one in Florida, and we got vetoed and ended up at fucking Golden Corral.
That was the biggest fumble of our entire Florida trip.
I know it was.
Golden Corral, I will
be.
admit,
It wasn't bad. That
the
beef
food
stew
wasn't bad.
Cracker
pretty
Barrel.
fire.
But
Cracker
it was
Barrel would
like
have been
the
better.
presentation at this Golden Corral
Not
was
great.
a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
We
Like,
were basically
I thought
dining.
we were gonna die.
We were basically dining in a McDonald's place.
It,
The amount
it
of-
felt like
the
a
amount of kids running around and shit.
it felt like a community college lunchroom.
It did. Yeah, 100%.
And the steak did not hold up to memory.
No, it did not. But the beef stew did.
Yeah.
That was really good.
There was a lot of the food was decent.
Yeah, just
And it-
looked
honestly,
like hell.
Like we got it, like when we got there, I was like, oh, we fucked up. And then
Yeah.
I got the food and I was like, you know what? Presentation aside, it's good food.
Yeah, it was. All right, Downriver Diecast with another one. Any vacations planned for the summer? I do my annual week vacation with my family. We go down to Cape Cod for the week, and then obviously Pocono with these boys here.
Yep.
And that's all that's on the menu for the summertime for me.
I've got campers going to Loudon, which isn't much of a vacation. It's a vacation, but I'm
counts.
half an hour from home, but I'm still going to be up there all weekend.
It is officially the first weekend of summer.
Once I get in that bubble, I ain't leaving.
Yep.
I'm going to go up there Thursday night. I ain't coming home until Monday.
I'll be there Friday.
Pocono, going
If
to,
things go well with work this week, I will be there Friday morning.
good boy. Going end of July, we're
5
going to-
a.m..
End of July, we're going to Germany for the weekend, which we've added a new twist to that. So obviously,
Breckensee Dick.
For the weekend?
well, we're going Thursday to Tuesday.
Yeah, that's more.
It's a
than
casual
weekend,
jaunt over to Germany, you know?
Yeah,
We just pop into Deutschland real
there's
quick.
there's now three. We're doing 3 concerts in a week. We have.
You're seeing Taylor Swift 3 times.
I don't have that much money. We're going to Blink at Fenway on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Leaving Thursday night to go to Germany. T-Swizzle on Saturday night in Germany. Coming home like Monday night. I remember the logistics of when we get home, but we're going to be home Tuesday. We just today bought tickets. Thank you, Kevin Miller, for informing me of this, to one of my bucket list concerts. Friday night that week we get home, Alan Jackson at TD Garden.
Yo, what?
He's doing a farewell tour. It's like 10 shows.
You didn't text me?
I don't think you'd want to go. Every time I invite
What
you
do you
anywhere you don't want to go,
mean?
then let's go.
I don't know who that is.
Get out.
Leave.
My
Chattahoochee?
very first country concert, I was 15. Alan Jackson.
I said to Steph, he is the last of the 90s male country superstars that I need that Infinity Stone. I've seen Garth. I've seen George Strait, Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney. I need that Alan. I've seen
Toby Keith?
I saw Toby Keith too when I was a kid.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I saw him in like 2004 at Gillette. So I need that last Infinity Stone. And I honestly, I know he has like failing health. He's got something going on.
Oh,
What?
Kevin Miller, he texted me earlier
he-
today.
Oh, yeah.
About the
That's how
Well,
I found out about
I
it. 'cause
replied.
Kevin-
I replied to his text about New Hampshire, and then his reply to me. I was like, "I'm going up Friday, coming home Saturday night." Blah blah blah. His reply was just Alan Jackson tour. I was like, I don't know what that means.
So Kevin texted me about it, and then we started talking. I sent it to Steph, expecting her to be like, bro, we come home from Germany 3 days before that. We're not doing another concert. But then she looked at the tickets, and they were cheap. So she's like, we're in. Let's go. And it's a Friday night, so it's not that bad.
Hell yeah.
I'm probably going to
And
Pocono.
then, I don't know, he said summer, so I guess I can't really count the October trip.
No,
that's
summer.
not summer. That's not summer.
Just Pocono for you?
I think so. I don't really do vacations.
Well, you also got the new job and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think the Daytona 500 this year was the biggest vacation I've taken in probably the past 10 years.
You're going to come up, because so our plan for Loudon is he's going to come up Friday.
I'll probably come up Friday night.
Stay Friday. You guys can get the campground experience Friday night. We do our media shit Saturday, then y'all go home.
Yep.
And then come back Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
I'll see about getting out early on that Friday. I don't know. I'm not pushing it with the new job.
Well, even then, you don't
I
have to get out early.
have the days off, I'm sure, but I don't want to use
But
them
even
all.
then,
Yeah.
even if you get out at 4, that puts you up there at 5:36, and then
If you're there before dark, that's
that's perfect.
Man.
And it's great because X Lot, like I think I told you guys, X Lot is literally right next to the visitor parking lot. So like when Steph's sister and cousin came up last year to like hang out
I got
Saturday
parking.
night.
I'll go where the fuck I want.
Right, but your parking's probably further away than the
Yeah,
visitor
your
hall.
parking is in the track.
I'll park in the track and walk.
Okay, that sounds terrible.
Not for me.
Actually, it's not that bad. But
Heaven forbid I have to walk around the racetrack on race weekend. Oh no, how terrible could that be? I'll bring the beers and just start drinking on my walk back.
we've never done that before.
Exactly. I'll get the hat with 2 beers in
I
that.
was talking about the Death March.
Oh, that was
Guys, we can get over the track. Don't worry about it. Uh-oh.
No, we cannot.
No, we cannot.
I knew we couldn't get over the track, but you're like, the tram's still running.
There were shuttles.
I believed you, and I would have, if someone asked me that question, like, yeah, the shuttles run like all night long. They do not.
And then we just
They shut off.
And then we just death marched all the way around Coda back
For
to our
3.5 miles.
Yep. But yeah, the guest parking, like the camping guest parking lot, is connected to X Lot.
Yeah, I would much rather just park my truck in the infield.
We could probably just do that. Yeah.
Keep it safe.
That's probably a
it's
good
much safer over there.
True.
All right, we got a couple more, and we're going long actually. Shocker. Flinno 365.
That's a new name.
Yeah, it might be Flynn No 365 or
Okay.
Fly No. I'm not sure. One of the two. Can
He
SVG?
wonders
It's
why
like
we're-
Flinno, like minnow.
He's wondering why we're running long.
He fly fishes for minnows 365 days a year, dude.
That could be it.
Or he doesn't fly 365 days a
Fly?
No.
No.
I'm scared of airplanes, sir.
I'm going with that one. Fly? Nah.
It could be Flino as well.
Yeah, true.
Could be a soft.
Wait,
Or Florida Inno 365.
Oh no, that'd be Fly. Why no?
maybe it's like
Dungarees. Why? No.
maybe he didn't. Why? No, he didn't want to get banned for saying OnlyFans, so it's just like backwards and mixed up.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah,
Or it's just AI, dude.
your sniff flip is playing you.
There it is.
Put
hit
your
our
game
quota.
down, flip it, and reverse it.
We've hit
All
the
right,
quota.
can SVG get the double done with another road course this week?
Is he racing in? Oh,
Xfinity
duh.
Sonoma.
Yeah, Xfinity. Duh.
He has as
be
good a
sick.
chance as anybody.
That'd be awesome.
He did test there too, I think. Yeah, he said he rode
next gen
He
test,
drove the
though,
next
wasn't
gen,
it?
but he knows it'll help him know the track a little bit.
Yeah.
He said he went off in the wheel force car and remembered how much they told him each one of those sensors cost and was like, "Oh no!"
Sorry. Corey Scothen, which premier driver do you think misses the playoffs? Kyle Busch.
I would say Kyle, or
Dude, at this point, Joey Logano.
I was gonna say Joey Logano. Like he's not showing any outside of the All Star race. He hasn't shown any strength.
Hell, defending champion Ryan Blaney could miss the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, we're already at 9 winners this year, and there's still a lot of guys that could and should win races. Where we could end up with 13.
Oh,
You know what's really funny?
Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. If you look at the playoff standings on the NASCAR app, it says the cut line is at 15.
Oh, good. So is Fox running the NASCAR app now?
So 15 is Bubba Wallace plus 13, and 16 is Chase Briscoe minus 10. Larson's just not there, but his spot is held.
Oh, okay. I get you now.
It's so broken.
Yep.
Everything's broken.
Yep. L98 Jake, if you could pick any car for the Media Day Challenge, what would you pick?
Anything I can drive to its full potential.
SRX car.
Ariel Adam.
Be easier to get in and out of.
Gen 4.
Dan's Cabrio.
I could have.
Norm's truck.
That'd be fun.
Oh, any car? 86 Aero Coupe.
Yeah, I'm trying to be
Or
like
87
realistic
Aero
here.
Coupe.
I thought the Ariel Adam would just be fun because it's open.
Gen 4 would be fun, although you said you can't drive that around.
Oh my God, that thing is a handful on New Hampshire. Oh boy.
He was practicing. He practiced. He gave me so
For
much
some
shit.
reason, I'm just really good at New Hampshire. I shouldn't be.
Then why'd you finish like 15th last year?
Because he listened, which I did the first time.
Idiot.
Oh, in the
Just
media
fucking
challenge?
with it,
I
I
was-
weigh 100 pounds more than everybody else, and I listen.
I was physically unable to not
Bring it to
listen.
75% throttle. Okay, you're done. What?
I got like warned with you might do this or pull it in. I was like, oh no.
yeah.
But according to the paper, I ran like pull time in the fall race here. So
Yeah, I mean, there's so many to pick from. All right,
I would
Nathan Danforth.
Gen 4 just because.
Did Ryan Blaney save too much at the pump?
Aw.
Oh, there it is.
He only had
no,
20
he left it at the pump.
He only had 20 bucks. It was one of those rough weeks. He's like, just put 20 on 6. I'll get the rest of it later.
All right, what do we got from the chat? Anything in there?
We had a couple. They're getting all mixed up. All right. Sam Valley 95, also Sam V. Do you guys watch Survivor? I've never gotten into that show.
Never watched it.
What I can't believe is that it's still on because I remember one of my middle school teachers being obsessed with it. And that was in 2001.
Well, yeah, because they do 8,000 variations of it, and then they eventually just brought Survivor back.
I still remember like he would be so into that show. Like he would talk about that episode whenever that was on. And that was in 2001. Like
I don't think I've ever followed a reality show.
have I? You know which one I do like is The Amazing Race, but because I'd love to do that. That's the one where they have like the pairs and you have to like go all over the place and it's like a scavenger hunt. Like
I've never watched that, but it sounds very Rat Race-esque, and I'd be down with that.
yeah, like they'll drop you in like India and they're like you have to like figure out where to go and then you find the next clue and then all of a sudden you're going to fucking London and then you're going to fucking
give
That looked like a
That
lot
would
of
give
fun.
me a
that
lot
would
of
be
anxiety.
fun.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to do, but I agree. I've never really followed a reality contest TV show.
I think I watched like 3 episodes of Flavor of Love. Does that count?
I mean, back in the day, the OG, I remember watching Road Rules all the time.
Dude,
Road Rules and Real World
or
were
That looked
what's,
like a lot of fun.
Room Raiders.
that
Room Raiders was
Jesus
so
Christ.
cheesy.
That was anxiety
That was
ridden,
so
though.
dumb. I loved it.
But I remember being a teenager and being like, oh, God. All right, Mr. Blocka himself, outside of Brad Perez, what car would you like to see loose as fast on the side hood back of?
Clint Boyer's truck at Nashville.
Anybody?
Yeah, I'm
Anybody.
yeah, a lot of people.
The limit does
The
not
field,
exist.
anyone?
Anyone.
A cup car?
any one of the underdogs that we enjoy, like Josh Williams, he'd
Yeah.
be cool to be on.
Josh
Corey
Balicki.
LaJoy.
Corey LaJoie,
Balicki would be cool.
Licky, he was one of the ones on my
Shannon,
list.
hit us up about a billboard price
Right?
at Loudon.
Right before iRacing comes and scans the track, please.
Yeah. I always laugh about
I want
that.
to be
when you-
entombed in that
Yeah,
fucking
I
thing.
always laugh about that on iRacing when they go to some of the smaller tracks and there's just like Joe Blow's garage with the phone number. I've looked some of them up. I'm like, that's a real place.
There's
Yeah.
been short tracks that have like publicly like announced like, hey, iRacing's coming here in June, and their phones will blow up with people that want to get on
Yeah.
billboards.
I wonder if they're going to come scan Lee because I drove by.
Well, New Hampshire's do because the turn 3 and 4 grandstands is still there.
Yeah, they need to
Yeah, but
refresh that.
I don't think that requires a full.
They wouldn't have to
But
rescan it. They would just
if
go.
they,
They
add,
should.
if they add additional billboards.
Yeah.
With our name on
I
it.
wonder.
But Lee would be cool.
Well, Lee, I went by there recently, and you used to be able, when you're driving by on 125, you can see the track. This was when I went by for that a couple weekends ago, and it was like the National Pro Stock Championship.
And he
It was a
wonders
huge-
why we go long.
It was a huge event, and they had all new billboards. Like, they were still fresh wood. They hadn't weathered it all along that corner. And I'm thinking, you're making me think, like, are they going to come scan it for iRacing, and everyone wanted to get on the billboards? Like, that'd be cool. I would
Be a
love
brilliant
that.
move. All right. Keep going here.
Shane Blakely, S. Blakey. I know y'all deal with Facebook Marketplace from time to time. Have there been any spelling, grammar, pet peeves you have?
All
Example,
of them.
break, XX for sell, I'm sailing, item, etc. Every single one of them.
All of them.
It's-
I'm a
the
horrible
thing that
grammar
gets me
Nazi.
the most is when people do like the fake prices.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much when I deal with it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Or like there'll be, I've looked at it before with like some of the like Scotty Cameron putters, some of the collectible ones. It'll be like $600 and you're like, damn, that's a good deal. You click on it, it's $4,000. You're like, oh, you're just
Yeah.
an asshole.
I think
Never
my
mind.
biggest pet peeve is when somebody puts something for sale and doesn't respond.
That's Facebook
It's
Marketplace
like
in a nutshell.
you're selling it, why are you being the difficult one?
Yeah, I've done that. The amount of things I've responded to and never gotten a response. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Like, dude,
trying to buy this.
I will get a message and I will purposely not respond for an hour because I don't want to look too desperate.
Same. I do the
How do
exact same
people
thing.
just never respond?
I do the exact same thing. I
There's
wait.
when we first moved into the new house, it's got gas for the.
And he wonders why we go long.
And he wonders why we go long.
Carry on. Next question.
No,
Kyle.
go gas. Go
Nope,
gas.
we're
We
done.
actually
Keep
care.
moving.
We're just
I
roasting
actually
the
care.
nuggets.
You just gave it to me, so I'm giving it back to you. So when you got the new house,
There was the dryer that's there was gas.
oh, I remember you
we had
telling me
electric.
about this. Yeah.
So on Facebook Marketplace, I just like kept searching for the same dryer we have, just
Yeah.
hoping I could find a gas one instead of the electric one. Found one. Was like sick. It was like $100. Come pick it up this weekend, please.
You sound
sick.
You sound desperate.
Yeah, I was like, I'll come get it today if you need it out of your way. Never opened it. 2 days later, it was like that was Saturday. I was like, hey, I'm available all weekend. Let me know if you still have it. Never responded. Ad comes down. I look at the ad a week later. It went back up with new pictures from the same person. I messaged them again. Still never opened it. I'm like, what are you doing?
People,
It's still up there.
I'm with Norm. I don't understand how. Like, if I have an ad up, I'm checking every 20 minutes. To
Yeah,
see
if you need it gone
views.
this weekend and it's Thursday, probably check.
Yeah. I don't understand how when I put something up for sale, I will be checking every 20 minutes to see if the views have gone up. Like, you know what I mean? And the last one for Mr. Michael Carteropoli himself. All weekend I heard that Gateway is similar to Phoenix. I thought it was basically Darlington-shaped New Hampshire. What do y'all think? I think it has more banking than New Hampshire.
Darlington-shaped New Hampshire is actually
That's pretty good,
That's
though.
pretty good.
I think they just
Yeah.
mean it's
Good
similar.
blend of the two, I think.
I
Yeah.
think they mean it's similar to Phoenix, as in kind of like how they say if you run well at New Hampshire, you're going to run well at Phoenix. You run well at Gateway, you're probably going to run well at Phoenix because they're flat 1 mile tracks with heavy braking.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think more what they meant. Probably.
I'd say it like most similarly has like the same banking as like Phoenix Turn 4.
Yeah.
3-4.
Yeah. I think it's got a little more banking than New Hampshire does. New
Yeah,
Hampshire
definitely has more banking than
New Hampshire is actually like I always forget how flat it is till like we did the media challenge and you go in there and it's like we're not going very fast, but I can feel like you could overstep this very easily because there's no banking to hold you. Like
No, not at all.
so.
Also, real quick on the chat, hello to Gage Heron, hello to Coleman Wilson.
Hey boys.
What's up,
Additions
everybody?
to the chat.
Also, I saw Spencer kick in there too. Spencer Clark. We raced with him on iRacing.
Oh, Gage, honey barbecue melt from Friendly's. Bomb.
Dude, Friendly's just hits like that. It's the one restaurant that I feel like hasn't changed since I was 5 years old. Like I can still go in there and get the same shit that I got back then. They don't try to.
Oh, I love
They don't
I
try
love
to.
Friendly's.
They don't try to like church it up and make it better or whatever. Like it's the
Coleman,
best.
I like your list. Chipotle, Waffle House, Applebee's.
Chipotle to me is more fast food.
But Chipotle is not a sit-down
Yeah,
restaurant.
that's fast food.
And you only put 3. You're missing one.
You're missing one. Yep.
Love you too, Kevin Miller. What's your top 4? Go. Quickly.
Kevin, he didn't.
What's
know-
your Mount Rushmore?
He yelled at me for not telling about Alan Jackson, and then noticed you told him about Alan Jackson. I don't know if
We
you
were
here
in
for
mid
that.
conversation with something else. And you just said Alan Jackson. I was like, is that slang for something? Is that like
Kevin's
the new
going,
kids?
Kevin's going too. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
just
whatever.
like Daytona, where we're going to be sitting on opposite ends of the fucking arena.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. All right. Well, that does it for yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast. Before we sign off, like, comment, and subscribe
We
on
can do that. Do the YouTube
youtube.com.
face. Do the YouTube face. Like the
youtube.com /
Smash
at
that like
loose
button.
is fast. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell thing so you
Obliterate that like
get
button.
notifications. I think that's what it does. I'm not sure.
it does. I get notified when we go
Follow
live,
us
even
on
though
the
I'm here.
social platforms. Fill out a review. Donate to B4B. Yeah.
Land the plane. Land the plane.
Yep. I'm Kyle Belcher.
I'm Dan Walker.
Norm Peltier.
We'll catch you in wine country.
Bye, bitch.
Shut up.
Hi.
Hi.
Kyle, was that 3rd Gen you were talking about in Staunton, Mass?
There's
No,
a
it's in
Staunton.
Weymouth.
I don't know what Staunton is.
Anybody
There's an
still-
orange
there's a
one in
Taunton?
Anybody still
Staunton.
hanging out? Or are we just by ourselves?
I thought I
I
saw.
don't know.
There's still a few people, I think.
I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace.
I can't tell.
We have 12 viewers still.
Oh, man. 13.
12.
Oh, we lost somebody. Sam V. Yo, what up? Everyone that's still in the chat, give us your Mount Rushmores of cheap chain restaurants. Cheap-ish, you know,
What it do, Subaru?
ish, give or take. What are you nerding out to? Answer
Dan,
the
I
damn
found
question, you
your new
loser.
daily again.
Whew. Only those are rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, but this is the drivetrain you take out and put in a Saturn.
Yo, true.